Gonna start the stream. Going to start the stream. Let's run it, baby. I gotta put my phone on the charger real quick. P3 to P4. Sorry, I'm just reading my notes before I put my phone to the side. I'm gonna run this little episode. Might be like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm gonna try not to go past 2. I'm gonna try not to go past an hour and a half, actually. I'm gonna try. Okay, cool. Let me put my phone to the side and no notes, acapella this bitch. Oh my god. Where's my water? Oh no. I gotta grab my water. Where did it go? Never mind, it was right there. It's right there. Okay. God, my timing's always super off with these podcasts. I think I said like 7:30 Eastern. What the hell happened? Gotta make sure my logistics are good. Okay, so haven't watched any film this season. Is it too late? Is Optic good? Is it too late? No, it's not too late. Optic is the best team right now. I'm not gonna Optic is the best team right now. Always tweak whenever I do podcasts because I try to make sure that the audio is good, and then I actually just end up just acapelling this shit. I'm not sure if I can handle this fucking light on me. This light is actually fucking annoying. My eyes aren't used to it, but oh my god, I should actually do that. Oh, I actually do have it. Should I run the music? Oh my god, I should run the music. This is a whole production. I'll run the music because I'm not like recording this part. So that's cool. Oh, now I gotta find it though. Ooh, I found it. Do I have that? Do I have like that production in me to be able to do a transition like that? I don't care. I'm running it. All right, guys. Here's my average intro. let's run, let's run it. Whoa, I did it. Nah, I'm kidding, but the transition's not there. Transition is not there. I should like move this so like the chat could actually be, or I could put the chat above that. Put the chat above that. I could do that. Alert box. Gotta move the alert box like all the way to the top. All the way to the top. Oh, chat box. Whoops. That's the one. L production. I'm not a producer. I've never been a producer. I've actually been the main character. Like I'm more like the main character than I am the producer here. Ow, I acapella this shit. Is Kenny any better than last season? Yeah, he's actually doing great right now. Doing great right now. All right, here. I'm actually going to do that again because this time I'm going to get right into it. We're going to get right into it. You guys could yap along as well. And we'll just talk about the games. I got all the games lined up here. We're going to talk about the games. This intro is not going into like the podcast. I usually fucking do it after, but just for the vibes. I need to hurry the fuck up. Ooh, part 2, take 2. Let's go. Yo, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Borito Talk podcast. I am your host, Burrito, the #1 CDL ESPN analyst / content creator in the world. Much to a lot of people's chagrin. I am back. Opening weekend of the CDL has passed us. Thank you for welcoming me in to your AirPods, your ears, your headsets, your speakers, your Bluetooth phones, your iPhones, whatever device you have. Thank you for welcoming me. I didn't even know that's a hard word. Welcoming me in to your day. Gosh, I forgot everything I was gonna say. Terrible intro. Hit a drop shot on that follow button on Spotify. Greatly appreciate it. But thank you for watching on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. We're going to get into this whole weekend of matches. We're going to yap about the matches, hour and a half. This is a live episode of the Borito Talk podcast for those of you listening after the fact on everything. So I might start doing more of these actually and then just uploading it live. Reggie, what's good? What's the word, my boy? The word is Borito Talk, going through all the games. And then after this, I have to go. After this podcast, I'm throwing this podcast right on the render, and I'm going right into doing some behind the scenes videos for FaZe that they never asked me, by the way. I'm just doing it. And I'm going to like really get into what they need to work on in Hardpoint. May share on YouTube after the fact. But yeah, we're going to get to the weekend of matches. Friday was not a good day, but thankfully they threw out an impromptu hotfix. Activision threw out an impromptu hotfix to fix the lobby issue that was happening. So on Friday, There were stoppages all over the place. 3 matches took like 8 hours. It was absolutely insane. But then Saturday, Sunday, the matches went by super, super, super quick. It was actually tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. So Saturday, Sunday were better. Friday, long waits. But we're going to get into these games. I'm going all off acapella, going all off my number one CDL analyst brain. No notes. Never notes. Never notes. Just going off of memory for all these games, and we're gonna talk about them. The first game, very fitting. The defending world champions open up the new season against the Riyadh Falcons. This was Optic Texas against the Riyadh Falcons. It ended 3-0 Optic Texas. To nobody's surprise at all. Some people thought maybe the Falcons could take a map. Anything's possible. People could lay up. Everyone's throwing around stats like Optics had a hard time with their opening, with their season opener matches. I'm like, hey, that's like the past. We're in reality. We're in the real time, and in the real time, Optics good. They're not gonna troll. Oh, that's why the stoppage is happening. Yeah, the stoppage is happening because there's a private match issue. Private match issue where people would join. Actually, I think in the case of the CDL, it was actually the observers. I'm pretty sure they said it was the observers that just couldn't get in the games. They kept joining in the games and kept getting kicked. And they threw out a hot fix. And it was fixed the next day. It was actually incredible. So, yeah. Optic Texas won 3-0, 250 to 154 on Scar Hardpoint, 6-4 on Den Search and Destroy, and 4-1 on Den Overload. Yeah, not really much to say. Falcons were not really up for the challenge. I mean, this is pretty much like the best team against what I feel is a 10th, 11th place team, but we're going to get more into the Falcons in their other matches, which kind of turned my head a bit, but at the same time, not really. In this first match, there was a lot of dynamic issues. I felt like in this first map, there was a lot of Xnit OBJ, and it was not looking good. And as we'll see in their match with LA Thieves, they actually switched things around. The complete opposite looked completely different. But against Optic, I mean, it's just like a mismatch. I think the beginning of the Scar looked a little bit close. The Den, Search and Destroy, a little bit close, but not really close at the same time. It's like the numbers were there, but, you never really had a doubt Optic was going to lose. This was just a standard victory. I'm not even going to get too deep into it because we obviously have like 8 other matches to go through. This was just everything you expected in the series. Freaking Merc dropped a 1.80 in this series, 8k damage and a 3-0. Absolutely insane. He had 63 kills. Hook had 42, Dash had 46. Pretty insane. Shotzi obviously had 69. He had a 1.5. They're pretty much walking over the Falcons. Falcons in Overload. Looks like a mode they have not practiced. I saw some diabolical things. They're a team that I feel... Actually, I'm going to say that for the LA Thieves series. I'm going to say it for the LA Thieves series because I don't want to spoil it, but pretty one-sided series. Everyone expected Optic to win. I kind of want to go through like the map bans because Optic doesn't really want to play Colossus, and so like they ban it, but I think certain other teams don't want to play it, and when other teams don't ban it, I don't think they play Raid. Like, for example, I don't think they want to play Raid S&D against certain teams, but I know for sure Optic doesn't want to touch Colossus. So if the other team's not banning Colossus, I'm pretty sure Optic's probably going to ban it a lot, and they don't like Scar Overload. They try to get teams into a den and an exposure, which is why, I mean, if I had to choose a map to play Optic on, I'm playing them on exposure. A lot more of a chance you'll actually win that map, to be honest. Den is looking pretty good for them. They're not unbeatable on that map by any means. Optic's not unbeatable on that map. The way they play, Shotzi. Shotzi really loves going. So picture in your heads the defense S&D side spawn, which is like the P4 side, the dojo side, like the lab side. So picture that side spawn. When they're on that side, Shotzi loves going P1 and pinching couches and spawning them deep back Bailey, which is like the back square P2, like in the deep corner of spawn right beside like that overload point. He loves spawning them there. He loves just like roaming around that area all the time, and teams are having a hard time dealing with it. Oh my god. Oh, we already have someone coming in about Optic. I mean, I did not see that chat. Did not see that chat. I actually saw it on my screen. I saw it on my screen. I didn't see it on the chat. Anyways, yeah. Honestly, I'll get more into it in Optic's second series because it also makes a lot more sense in that second series. But I'm always interested to see Optic's map bans and what they pick. But they definitely don't like Scar Overload. But there's no way for them to play it because if other team bans like a Den or a team bans Exposure, they're just going to play the other map. They could go the whole season, honestly, not playing Scar Overload unless it's like a grand finals and they came in from losers and the other team has like the ban on the control, and then they'll be forced to play a Scar Overload. But unless it's grand finals, they could actually avoid that map all season long. And I think the reason why they don't like that map is because it's a lot easier for teams to beat them on that map. It's like a bigger map. They don't have as much control of it. Like the pinches that they like to do on Exposure and Den don't really work as much on Scar. And as we saw from like the Quezon tourney and the I'm not sure if they played at the Quezon tourney actually. I think it was like the 75K. They looked very like they had an Achilles heel on that map. Like let's just say that. They had an Achilles heel on that map. But 3-0 Optic, Falcons have a lot to work on. I really want to judge them by the end of the stage. Who are at the end of the stage? These are good reps against good teams, even though they're getting 3-0'd. It's good things to go back on and look on. And something a lot of teams have to do, which I talk about endlessly, time after time, steal stuff from other teams. If you're not a good team at a certain game mode, like if every team is not just going back and watching Optic play a Den Overload and seeing all the things that they could take from it, I mean, then either like your ego's too big or you just don't care. Not saying that what Optic's doing is the end all be all of like good overload strats, but it's a foundation to start, you know? So something to take into account for Falcons, but we'll come back to them later. We'll come back to Optic later too. They had another match this weekend. Both of them did. But the next match on Friday, the second match of Friday, was Carolina Royal Ravens against Boston Breach. This ended 3-1 to Boston Breach. They won Colossus Hardpoint 250 to 153. Carolina won Scar S&D 6-5. Boston won the Den Overload 3-2, and then they won Exposure Hardpoint 250 to 214. So it looked pretty close, but I didn't think at any time Boston was going to lose at all. And something I have to put my finger on. I have to do more research. I have to do my due diligence. Right now, I've been focusing a lot more on the top teams and what the top teams are doing. On paper, I feel like Carolina should be way better of a team than they actually are. And like they showed glimpses of it in the respawns, don't get me wrong. And even like the Scar S&D second map, I don't think they should have won. I think they're about to lose it. I think Boston trolled, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I forgot. But Carolina have good players, especially for this game, Black Ops 7. Craze is a good player. I think Craze's biggest thing is he was so used to challengers running around, having his way like freaking Burger King, just having it his way and just sprinting around. I saw this guy in COD Champs Final literally running like his left analog stick was perma forward. Like he was just sprinting. All he did was sprint and shoot, and it was working, and it was great. In the CDL, it's a bit different. You need to like aim in a bit more. I don't want him to lose like the pace that he has. I love the pace he plays at. It's great, but he does have to like have his gun up in certain situations a bit more. And Lurks is pretty much proving me wrong. Like I thought he was not going to be a factor in this game. Not saying he's a bad player, but there's so much If I go back on the gameplay and I see him doing things wrong, that's another thing. But just from the eye test, just from watching, very straightforward. I kind of checked out, I think, this game because it was like, I think it was like an hour wait between the first match and this. It was like an hour and a half. I swear it felt like after every game there was a stoppage. It was literally crazy. But Lurks looks undeniable in this game. There's a lot of players that look undeniable in this game, but we'll see. I'm going to go back and I'm going to see what I could find of like how he's actually playing, not just like just the eye test, because he looks really good. Really good, but is he doing the right things? You could say the same thing for 04. A lot of people, I'll get into that series later, actually. I always get ahead of myself. But Boston, it's early in the season, so I'm not going to super judge. I feel like Boston is actually way better than this. This should have been a lot less competitive from the eyes of Boston, but you have to take the win regardless. As long as you got the win, it's the beginning of the season. Focus on getting the wins. The reps will go up and they'll get more consistent and beat teams around this level, which is like the lower level, a lot more convincingly. And Nasty showed out in this series, had a 1.4 highest kills in the lobby. I mean, could argue he could have been on a better team. Ultra, I mean, I'll cry till the end of the world. I don't care how Koi did against Miami. It was very early on. We're going to get to that series, obviously. But Nasty definitely should have been on a better team. Like, I think he got done super dirty. All the hard work that he's done like the past 2 years to like improve as a player. I think a lot of teams just don't think he has. I'm sorry if I yawn. I latest yawn when I yap a lot. I think a lot of players just don't think Nasty has like that X factor, like that slang X factor. I think a lot of people know he's a good player and a good teammate and a good fundamental player, but I don't think they think he's that step up to like slay and take over games like against like the big teams. I don't think teams like have that stock in him. That's the only thing I can imagine for why he couldn't get picked up on a better team. And Boston took full advantage. I still got my eyes on Cammy. I don't care if you have a good series against the Royal Ravens. I mean, that is bare minimum expectations. We will see how you do against the rest of the teams. But from Boston's POV, you got the win. That's all that matters. From Carolina's POV, nobody was really expecting you to win. We could even go on the predict a winner. 71% Boston, 29% Carolina. 500 votes to Boston, 200 to Carolina. I mean, very generous votes for Carolina, honestly. I'm not going to lie. Very generous votes. But it's so confusing because Ravens, they actually looked pretty good on the Colossus. So something I want to say about the Colossus, because now it's actually coming back to me. Carolina should have won that map. And I'm not going to put much stock into Colossus because I guarantee after stage 1, Major 1, it's going to be out. Utopia is actually a better map, and it's a lot more eye-appealing of a map, and it's funner of a map. It's better for Hardpoint and S&D, so I think teams will probably play that over Colossus. I think Colossus is going to be gone right after this major, so I'm not putting too much of my brain power into Colossus because I'm pretty positive without hearing anything, just my intuition. I mean, Utopia is definitely going to get in. Colossus is the worst map. It's the most boring map to watch as well. It's going to be the first one to go. But Carolina played Colossus very well, but it doesn't reflect in the score. They lost by 100. They pretty much lost. Okay, they lost by 97, but it's like 100. They lost by 100. But something I'll tell you about this map, number one. Carolina had pretty much almost, I can't say every rotation, but 90% of rotations, they were there at the hill first. They just got broken a shit ton. They got broken almost every hill that they got, like P4s, they were again there first, had terrible setups. They just got broken from the back. No one was taking control of like the back spawns. They were just getting broken really easily. Slasher, I thought, was doing a great job anchoring, and I don't even think that reflects on the scoreboard. So Slasher went 22 and 24, but if you watch Slasher that whole map 1, he was blocking every spawn possible. Like he was doing what he was expected to do, executing whatever game plan they had. He was the spawn manipulator this whole map. I think it just came down to everybody else. I thought they were playing good for like the first half, and then it kind of fell off a cliff when they're getting broken on setups constantly. And I don't remember the Scar S&D. I don't even remember the Den. I blacked out on all that. I literally blacked out on all. But I'm basically just going to say that Boston's like the better respawn team, obviously. And consistency prevails. Yes, you can get to every hill first. It's not expected that you should hold every hill that you get to first. But you should hold a lot of them. Like, they were getting broken pretty freaking easily. And it all came down to just reading pressure. They were turtling a lot. They could have been more proactive with how they controlled these hill holds, because the hill holds isn't about just like sitting there. You got to like do stuff, you know, you got to like do stuff to like prevent being pushed into like a small space and just getting collapsed on it. I think Boston did that pretty much. All. But Boston's clearly the better team. Good win for them. Carolina back to the drawing board. I really think Carolina should actually be like a good team. I know it sounds crazy because I had them in like 10th or 11th place in my CDL standings. But just the three players, and Slasher's a good player. I may have said he took up a spot in the league this year, but he's always been a smart player, a good player. I guess you could say the same thing when it comes to Dante. Like, sometimes maybe the attitude when things aren't going the best could like get to him, and he's not like the leader he's supposed to be. Who knows? But he's always played the game correctly all the time. And this team should actually be way better, honestly. Like, after seeing glimpses of how they play and just the players that they have on their team, I think Craze and Lurks, from a talent perspective, is a crazy SMG duo, actually, like, the more that I think about it. And Nero's actually been performing pretty well with like the AR and like the flex. He's been doing pretty well. I don't even care about the scoreboard. He's always there. And that's the thing with a lot of ARs, is they're not fast at all. Like, Nero is basically playing an SMG role with like an AR, and it's great. It like matches the pacing. The pacing's good. It's just like the final product. It's like the things in between the lines that they are doing good. But I think the pacing of this team is like really good, actually. They have a very good balance in the speed everyone's playing. It just comes down to like the intricate details that I think they need to work out. And obviously Boston, I'm expecting them to get better. If they don't, then that would be such a shame. But I do think they're the best of the rest, to be honest, because I have my top 5. You know, you got like the top 4. You got the Paris, the Optic, the LA Thieves. I think Miami's like under that. I think Koi's right there. I think Boston's like a solid shout for 7th place, I believe, if I remember all the teams correctly. Yeah, I think they're a solid 7th place team for sure, if I look at all the teams. Yeah, I think they're a solid 7th, and then everyone else like below. So they should be the best of the rest. Every team below them, they should beat all the time. And if they don't, they should be kicking themselves, because I think it's like a waste of points if they don't beat the Falcons, Vancouver, Minnesota, Ravens. I guess I just said Ravens. And who the heck's the last team? Rocker. Cloud9. So like those teams around them, they should be beaten. I'm not gonna say every time, but they should win 90% of those. If they think they're the team that they are, they should be clearly the best of the rest, in my opinion. But that's that series, and then we're gonna go on to the last series of Friday, which was LA Thieves against FaZe Vegas, and this was a 3-0 from LA Thieves, but the 3-0 didn't tell the whole story. It was actually a really close game. It was a 250 to 225 on Den Hardpoint first map, a 6-4 Scar S&D second map, and Overload. Crazy ending. Everyone's already probably seen it by now, ending 5-4 in overtime. LA Thieves win. FaZe Vegas trolled that map. And this was the Simp versus Abizi show. This was the Tiny Terror showdown. This was P against Pod. This was Small Fry against Small Fry, and they were showing out for everybody. They were the all-stars on their team. Simp went 72 and 52, a 1.38, highest damage in the lobby by a significant, like over 1K than like the second best player, over 1,200 more. He was absolutely interacting with everything on the map, shooting everything. He's been actually phenomenal, like so far, like this series. this year, but like how long can he keep it up? How long can he keep it up? And is it sustainable? Because right now it kind of looks like if Sim's not performing, there's no way they're going to win. Because if you look at everyone else on this team, and I made a lot of tweets this weekend, and I wish I feel like I should have this open as I go through every game so I can pull up every single tweet that I tweeted that goes with the games. Okay. I'm going to see if I could scroll down here. Okay, so I made a lot of tweets about this game. I even had some about the Ravens. I didn't even bring it up. Wow. Okay. There's a lot to talk about this series, so I'm going to take a sip of my water real quick. There's a lot to dissect. There's a lot I want to talk about. Where should we start first? I think the first thing I could say is Abizi, Tyler Ferris. And I guess this goes for the whole LA Thieves team. So before I talk about Tyler Ferris, because I'm just going off in every single direction, but we're going to cover everything. LA Thieves, to my surprise, it's actually pretty impressive how quick they've already done it, and it's not even at the final form yet. But I commend how fast they've already adapted to each other and compensated for each other. I thought this was going to be quite literally the biggest hurdle for them was adapting. You got a team with 3 superstars. And if we're talking about ego, 4 superstars. If we're going by ego, 4 superstars. And 2 guys, Scrap and Hydra, who have a way of playing that comes at the cost of the statistics of the other 2. So them bringing on Abizi, who is the most accomplished player on the team by a country mile. I think he has more achievements than all of them put together. Actually, I guess Kenny has a lot now too. But they now have superstars on their team. It's not like Envoy, who's like a proud OBJ. It's not like Ghosty, who could play that role. They enrolled having more consistent slayers, more consistent winners on their team. They wanted winners and they wanted slayers. They didn't want the Envoy, who, yeah, he's an OBJ, but he could drop a .6 and do nothing on the map. They didn't want a Ghosty, who I still think is a great player, got scapegoated. They didn't want a player who's not performing when they need it the most. They wanted known quantities who perform in the biggest moments. You can say what you want about Kenny. I can say what I want about Kenny. But he is, to their eyes, a proven winner and a Hall of Famer at the 100 Thieves compound. Abizi, serial winner. One of the greatest players of all time. Like probably top 10, top 15. Probably top 15. I don't know about top 10. I can't think off the top of my head. Probably top 3 S&D player of all time as well. Like Abizi's him. Okay, he's always been him, regardless of what I say about him. No matter what mistakes he may make. He's one of the greatest of all time. You can't deny that. So LA Thieves wanted these pieces on their roster. But getting these pieces on the roster comes with a price. And it's not even a bad price. It's more of like a personal statistic price, like if they're willing to take it. It comes with Hydra and Scrap having to compensate more, having to do more objective to balance out the whole team. You don't bring a BZ onto your team the same way I say about Optic when they got Pred and he was on 500K a year. You're not picking up a player who's that good, paying him that much, to have him be your hill bitch, to have him be your personal bomb carrier, to have him be your baiter. You're bringing him for the qualities that you picked him up for. And I'm actually impressed because it actually evolved even more into their next match, even though it was a lot closer of a series, kind of alarming in a way. But I'm impressed with how they've already started showing signs of adapting to everybody. Everyone's contributing in different ways, and everyone's hopping on the hill more. And probably the most revelating experience of this whole weekend, okay, of this whole weekend. And before I say that, Waleed said, I think the ghosty thing was mostly out of game issues. I think it was a combination of both because, like, Nate Shot even said, I mean, if you're not performing at the biggest events of the year, I mean, like, we just have to make a change. So I think it was a combination of both. But the most alarming thing of the weekend, guys, this is CDL history, okay? This is CDL history. For the first time since the inception of the CDL, since Hydra came into the CDL in 2020 or 2021, whichever year Cold War was, I already forget. This is the first year and the first time Hydra's ever taken the bomb. This is... You could probably go back and watch every game. You could go back to every single year. He has never picked up the bomb. It is different if you're picking up in the middle of the round when your bomb carrier dies, okay? That's completely different. But he has never taken the bomb at the beginning of the round. And I was mind blown to already see Hydra now grabbing the bomb. This is a revelation. And it's great. Because Hydra, his player personality and the way he plays fits a bomb carrier very well. A person that finesses, like a person who, you know, there's some times where, you know, if you take a roll with the bomb and you die, it is what it is. Who really cares? You know, that just happens, like you're trying to make a play. But he has all the characteristics for a bomb carrier, like the finessing, the staying alive, the sometimes being able to have to, like, get a kill on your own and plant the bomb and be able to get away and just hold your own. Like, he fits all the statistics for that, which allows Abizi to go back to being a first blood reaper. Not saying Abizi's never going to take the bomb, but now it's not like Abizi, you're just stuck with it. Kenny, you're stuck with it. Kenny doesn't want to take it. He's an AR and doesn't want to pick it, and it just makes no sense. But it's actually an effort from all of them, like depending on the map. Like on Colossus, I see some runs Abizi's taking it, Hydra's taking it, Kenny's taking it. This is great. This is what we wanted to see. A team with 4 quote-unquote superstars, I would say 3, that all have each other's best interests and they're actually playing and synergizing like a team. Like, that is what I thought was going to be the biggest hurdle, and it's already showing positive signs. Who knows if it'll stay like that? We're only 1 weekend in. Anything could happen. We're 1 weekend in, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But, and I got to stop saying but it's like the only transition word. Promising signs. And I made a tweet. I mean, I should just pull my tweets like as I go. Abizi, why couldn't you get this type of hill time with Simp, bro? And it's Abizi with 1:42 in the hill. I don't think I've ever seen that his whole time on phase. Maybe it happened and I missed it. But wow, what a revelation. Scrap with 1.5 minutes in the hill. Can you imagine what's going on? Kenny had the lowest hill time on the team. Can you imagine? Holy cow. Odson says, is Kenny still an island S&D player on this team? I could scrap Snipes. I could diss Kenny. Actually, it all depends. I haven't focused too much on LA Thieves S&D, but it all varies on who takes the bomb. If Hydra takes the bomb, Abizi's more the island player because usually Scrap goes with Hydra. If Kenny takes the bomb, I mean, I guess you could say it's Abizi because he's out searching for a first blood, and like the times where who takes the bomb? Times that Kenny takes the bomb, I would say Abizi and S&D is probably their biggest island player. I would have to say Hydra plays a lot around like the team, actually more than I thought, and Kenny's kind of playing slow, to be honest. But I mean, it's like the role that's required in like that scenario. But that's actually a great question that I don't completely have the answer to. And I even said here, this is the first time in the CDL I've ever seen Hydra take the bomb. I'm incredibly amazed and over the moon. Growth, selflessness, and self-awareness. Absolutely incredible. And so another point I want to bring, because I'm going to be going back and forth. So this tweet I made is actually like pretty hilarious when you actually come to think about it. I said, Simp handpicked a team with a history of not performing against LA Thieves, and the Draza and Scrap rivalry got low-key swept under the rug because now everyone wants the Tiny Terror Showdown. And isn't it crazy how this scrap Draza rivalry is now just an afterthought? It's just an absolute afterthought. And now it's all about Simp and Abizi. Like, Draza and Scrap, like, aren't even doing anything. Like, they're having, like, a burger bowl. Like, they're having a Dante against King of Body, Black Ops 6 Prime at the bottom of the scoreboard rivalry. Like, that's what they're having. Like, they're not doing... Like, Draza had a absolute nightmare of a day. Lowest damage in the lobby by a significant amount. Crazy. Like, him and Simp were, like, playing two different games, it felt like. Completely different games. Like, not even a thought at all. So, something I want to talk about. Things I want to talk about. So, map number 1 was a very close map. FaZe, at this current time, have a hardpoint issue. And I think it comes down to... I think it comes down to a lot of things. I'm going to go more in depth in it in, like, a YouTube video, because I don't have all the answers yet. I haven't really honed in, because when these games are happening live, you're paying attention to both teams and everything. So I'm going to go sit down and really watch. But from what I watched yesterday on stream last night, I feel like I'm going to try to make as much sense as possible and, like, not confuse people, okay? It's not necessarily, like, the speed that they're playing at. It is to an extent. Okay, it actually is to an extent. Wait. I heard an insane Draza stat, like, yesterday about him being negative in 15 of the last 17 series. Like, that doesn't actually sound too far off. I'm not going to lie. Been like that for, like, 7 months. Yeah. I actually do not doubt that at all. I could even actually pull it up. So right now, in the 2026 season, he has a 0.77 overall KD. That's 48th in the league. Oh my God, I actually have to pull this up. That's like bottom of the league. He is literally second last next to Kismet at the bottom of the league. That's absolutely insane. So if we go on hardpoint stats, he is like right there at the bottom. I think he has like the worst KD in the league for hardpoint. That is insane. Oh my God, he actually does. He has the worst KD. Freaking Nasty has a 1.4 because he played one game. Crazy. Draza has a 0.77 in hardpoint. It is the worst in the league. Worse than Lunar's, which is crazy, by the way. But it looks like Lunar's only played like a game or two. But that's insane. 0.77. But I could even pull up Draza's like stats here. So last 5 matches, 0.75, 0.79. Case on Showdown, not sure if we should really count that. Wait, can I pull up event stats? Okay, I think the Black Ops 6 season is like gone. We're just not doing that, I guess. We're not doing the Black Ops 6 season no more. We're just not doing that. It is erased from our memory. But I actually believe you. Okay. Back to the series. I think FaZe's biggest problem, I think Draza just needs to like sprint more. And I think he needs to use like the SMG more. I hate this connotation that he's like tied down to like the AR. Like you have a true AR and it's a Booza. I feel like Draza should mix it up more and pull out the SMG more, especially on a map like Den and on Exposure. There's a lot more room for like a third SMG, and it creates a lot of pressure on the map. And the thing I want to talk about is like 04. People want to talk about how quote unquote fast he is. With the routes he takes sometimes, it feels like they lose a lot of pace and a lot of pressure in the areas of the map that matter when he's doing that. And then it's like kind of Simp by himself, and he's got 2 ARs that are obviously like pre-aiming a lot. And there goes like your lack of pace. There's not like that third person who's also applying pressure. It's literally just not there. And a lot of the times, especially on Den, I watched pretty much all of FaZe's games. It feels like a majority of the time, like Simp's like breaking hills by himself. Like that's what it feels like sometimes. Like P4s, I'm watching this guy break hills by himself. Obviously, the other guys like sometimes like they die off rotation. But I feel a lot of times like Simp is literally, when it comes to Den hardpoint specifically, Simp is literally always doing everything. And this goes for literally every den. Can't even make this up. He is doing OBJ. He's doing the kills. He's literally doing it all. Every single den hardpoint. That's got to change. That's got to change. I think Draza on certain hills just got to pull at the SMG, honestly. P2, P3 after you have control, but I guess P3 you could even keep with the AR. P4, I guess you could keep it out too. I mean, there's a lot of room on the map, especially when you have control, because I think some FaZe struggles with is control, and they don't really break hills together, and they kind of like suck at it, and the rotations are not there because either people don't win the rotational gunfights or they're just super slow. FaZe has this terrible habit, and it makes me mad every single time I watch it. They have this knack. It's like they don't have it. It's like 04 is a route taker, but it's like he doesn't know when to hit the routes. It's actually the most annoying thing. A lot of the times they'll be fighting for hills until the very end, and next thing you know, they have nobody going for like the new hill. They had nobody on rotation at the times it matters, and all of a sudden they're already like behind, and they're fucking fighting from behind because like they didn't rotate. They're putting all their efforts, Nazi zombies, constantly hitting this hill over and over again. Next thing you know, P2's popped. You have no one on rotation because you're constantly hitting it from the front like idiots, you know? So it's pacing, but it's also like they don't really break hills good together. Sometimes it feels like one by one, their rotations are off. And I think that's a big reason also why Draws is doing bad, is because it's like a lot of times they're fighting from behind, it feels like. But I mean, even then, like when they do have hill control, I mean, like he's just like dying a lot. And I think that just comes down. I'm not sure if he's in his head more, but a good point somebody made yesterday. I wish I could give you credit, whoever it was in my stream that said it. Draza came in the league as an SMG player, and he had to switch from an AR. Like he's actually like more of a true SMG player than you actually might think. And every time he pulls it out, it's always a vibe. Every time he pulls out the SMG, I think he has to do it a bit more. Like he is in the flex position. Abuza is a main AR. Being a flex doesn't mean running an AR all the time. Pick up that sub more. It might help you. It might help you in the long run, and it will definitely help the pace. Like Simp needs somebody who's flying beside him, and that's why I wanted Neptune over 04, because I think 04 a lot of times is in La La Land across the map doing something, and a lot of times it's unsuccessful. A lot of the times. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It feels like 04 is there, but he's not even there. It feels a lot of time Simp is literally the only one applying pressure in the areas where it matters. And I think Draza is the player that needs to be like right there with them. Like that player who's also applying that serious pressure. Let Abuza do what Abuza's doing. I feel like if Draza picks up the speed, it'll be way better. Way better. But yeah. Are his problems the same as Kenny from last year? Like the guy literally just can't get a kill. I mean, from the maps I watched yesterday, he was getting shot in the back a lot, getting shot on the side a lot, and a lot of times he was not being like that aggressive. I feel like he's just playing too slow. He needs to just run at people more. Like that's like the draws that people wanted to pick up. Like that ego child Draza. Like he actually did that very well, even like last year in the beginning half, like not like the second half. And in MW3, like he was being a lot quicker of a player, and it was actually benefiting the team a lot more. And it just I'm not sure if he's in his head. There has to be something personal. Like there's no way this guy just fell off a cliff and is just playing bad all the time. I want to make an excuse for last year because, you know, like MC's playing slow. You have a BZ who's like on an island hard costing. You know, it's kind of him and Simp doing everything. A lot of times he gets left in like the middle of nowhere. But I think you have to compensate for that by just being fucking faster. Like this team actually does need more speed. They need more aggression. Like you would think they'd have that with 04 and Abuza. And I think Abuza also needs to like speed up like a tad bit. He does need to speed up a tad bit more. I feel like that's what they need. Like they need, like this was a team that got put together for teamwork and that type of stuff, but they're not really exemplifying teamwork at all in any aspect. And I think that's also why Simp said there can be an end of the year team. Ridiculous. Like
Every time I hear that, I literally just roll my eyes. I just roll my eyes because you wouldn't say that about any other rosters. Optic's not saying they're an end of the year team. LA Thieves not saying they're an end of the year team. Not even Paris saying they're end of the year team. They're all like, no, I'm trying to win right now. FaZe Vegas, the only top 4 team that is claiming that they're an end of the year team. Incredible. But I think it definitely comes down to speed more, and 0-4 has to improve. I'm not talking about this game. Even in the other game, the game they played against Paris, where he was like 24-13 in exposure, but I saw him do at least 3 things wrong that costed his team multiple rotations. But a lot of people are like, oh, he's frying. He's 24-13, da-da-da-da-da. But it's like, the things that he does a lot of novice things. And they go very much under the radar because I think everyone's like twin. But but you know, it's like there actually are some alarming things that he does that I don't think a lot of people actually take into account. Draws is Mr. Grinder, but it hasn't shown in a few years, especially at Champs. It's that relationship, man. Subs like Kremp, Neptune, and Hook have more pace and aggression than 0-4. Exactly. Abizi too. Whatever you want to say about Abizi, like Abizi is aggressive, obviously. Like that's where he made his name. Abizi's like an aggressor. And 0-4 is just a route taker. I've watched 0-4 all of MW3. Like I went back and watched his MW3. He's a literal route taker. He loves just roaming around the map. That's what he loves. Like that's what he knows. That's what he's got to do. And I just will not understand like the pickup if they somehow win Call of Duty Champs, which I don't think they will, but if they do, I mean, I'll be extremely happy for them. Simple be a 3-time world champion. Optic won't win. Everyone's going to rejoice. It'll be great. Draws a 2-time world champion. Abuzo 4 get their first rings, you know. But all it takes is like a coach to watch 0-4's gameplay. It's like, did you guys think you're going to like transform him into this type of player that he hasn't been yet? Like he was this player in Black Ops 6 and MW3, roaming, running around, getting kills, but like sometimes like just like not being there because like sometimes the pressure will come from elsewhere and he's just not there, you know? And it kind of feels like that exact same thing. There's like a big dynamic with how I feel like players just aren't playing in the right spots, if that makes sense. Like, they're not playing the right spots, not playing at the right speed, if that makes sense. 0-4 takes a lot of routes, but, like, sometimes he's, like, out of the play, and I don't think sometimes it's communicated to, like, his team. So, like, I'm going to pull up a clip. I didn't want to have to, but I'm going to pull up this 0-4 clip. I was going to upload it to Twitter, but I haven't yet, but I'm going to. But I guess the Burrito Talk's going to get the first glimpse of this, okay? So this is from the Paris Gentlemates, and we're going to sit all together, and we're going to watch this. So this is an example of 0-4, okay? Right now, he is, I mean, it's not showing in the scoreboard, is it? Actually, I don't think he was, like, that positive yet. Okay. But we're going to play this. So, like, this is something I don't think a lot of people notice, but this costed FaZe the P2, or I mean, it cost him the P3. Okay, so I'm gonna play it.
It's like so like number 6 is fuck pinching right now, and I guess this is more of an 0-4 problem than like a Druzza problem. But like, why didn't Druzza pinch here? Like, if Druzza pinches here, it makes sense. But like, why would you pinch with 24 seconds left? At that point, you're not really accomplishing anything. Just sit there and just watch the cross. Just 20 seconds. Like, just gifted his fucking teammate a spawn across the map. We don't need a pinch with 20 seconds left. And, like, you just got a 3-piece. Got a 3-piece, and there's 20 seconds left. What do you need a pinch for? Because right now, Paris in a situation where they have to work their way out. They either have to break through the front, or they have to take routes on you. You're just making their job way easier. Like, you handed them a spawn that they didn't even earn. Like, you got a 3-piece, and you gifted them a spawn. That makes no sense. So, like, also something you have to take into account, it's like small bad plays like that could actually like affect like the whole team. It's like plays like that turn a person on your team's KD from like a 1.05 to like a .88, let's say. Like, I think that's a lot of people don't realize. Like, KD is not just, oh, you're getting pissed on, you're losing every gunfight. It's the situations that you're put in throughout the map. If a team has control of every hill, everyone on the team's most likely going to all be positive because the other team has to come and break them. They're in pole position. They have better positions. The other team has to work for them. But, like, if you're fighting every game from under, having to constantly break hills, your KD is going to be significantly worse because you're breaking hills. So, like, you're going to die more trying to do it. Or, like, you might just successfully break, but a lot of time it doesn't happen, especially if you're playing, like, a good team and it's a hard hill to break. So that's, like, something to take into account. So, like, let's just say 04 doesn't flip spawns and FaZe now gets P3. Probably swings Draza to, like, let's say, just speaking in hypotheticals, swing them to, like, a 7-3. But now they don't have control of this, so now the P3 is going to be mixy. He now has to break. So he probably goes from a 7-3 to, like, a 3-8 now. All because of a bad play another person made, and now he's going to look worse. Because now he's dying trying to break a hill that he didn't even lose the spawns for, you know? So it's like all stuff like that. Also have to take into account when it comes to people's KDs and, like, people not playing well. Obviously, you can't really make an excuse if a person's going, like, 9-27. But it is, like, also something to take into account.
God, I'm literally so sorry for my phone. I was, like, banging that microphone. I was actually, like, boom, boom, boom on that microphone. All right. What was the problem with Surge last year? Was it mental or on the players' composition not working against 3 out of 3 teams they faced in the grand finals? I mean, I just don't think they had, like, the firepower to, like, get over, like, the line, honestly. And it sounds so weird because I felt like they actually could have beat Optic. I really do actually feel like they could have beat Optic. I know everyone's, oh, he's talking about Optic, you know. But I actually felt they could have beat Optic. And it really just comes down to, like, X Factor. There's just, like, being able to compose yourself in, like, the biggest situations, having people that could actually perform in the biggest situations. Like, they don't have that. And, like, they didn't have that. And everyone played bad, you know? Everyone played bad in those series. I mean, some of those grand finals ended where just everyone, like, an 0.9, which isn't bad. But they didn't have the oomph to take you over the line. And they made a lot of small mistakes, you know, which is common. It's everyone's, like, first time in these grand finals. I think it's just, like, reps. But, I mean, I can't really say reps because there are some people. But, I mean, everyone who's new, who's, like, won real quick, has had players on the team that have won and have been good. This was a team of all players who haven't won anything. So, it's like, you know, all of them. So that makes a lot of sense. You have 4 players who haven't won anything, who are going to grand finals against FaZe, LA Thieves, Optic, who have grand finals juggernauts on their team with years and years of experience, know how to get over the line, you know how to perform, don't make as much mistakes, you know. I think that's honestly probably what it came down to. Like, there's just 4 novice players that didn't really have an X factor. 04 said himself he should have a ring right now. Yeah, I mean, that rewind hard point, man, I will never forget that P1 for the rest of my life. Like, bro, they just... And that just comes down to just experience and just, like, not tweaking. Because it was, like, one tweak from one person. And it costed them that hill and cost them that map. Like, they could have went to, like, They could have run through grand finals, or I mean, they could have went to, like, a game 9 or whatever it was. I think it was a game 9. They could have went to game 9. There's maps earlier that they could have won, you know, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. They didn't do it. I think it's because they just didn't have, like, the experience and they couldn't get over the line. They spent all year not getting over the line. So if you can't get over the line all year, it's not gonna make your confidence any better. You're not gonna be like, yeah, I'm finally gonna do it. You're kind of gonna be like, man, we kind of sucked all year, and you know. Like, you take that heavy toll, like, going into every game going forward. But, I mean, there's a lot of players that I felt like they literally should have won. I think he's in his head more. From what I heard, he takes being asked personally and actually kind of dwells on it. Interesting. I mean, I don't doubt that because he, like, joined FaZe to be a winner, and he wants to be a winner, but he's not playing like a winner, so... He's not playing like a winner at all. So definitely he's got to improve on. I'm going to I'm gonna really try to help this guy. I'm gonna really do a deep dive into all of his gameplay. I'm gonna try to like send him things to like honestly help him. Like I actually feel so bad. He's playing so bad. Like he's like one of my favorite players in the league. Great personality like to have in the league. Great player in the league. Just has not been performing for a long time. Like what is going on? Like we're gonna get to the bottom of this. But definitely I think some to help improve. Pull out a SMG more. You're not stuck on the AR. You're not stuck on it. You've had main ARs by your side. You're not stuck on it. No one's going to be like, man, like you're pulling out SMG now? No. It will actually benefit, especially in this team. I feel in this team, it should be more Chris and Draza having the green lights and like Abuza and 04 are like doing more of the dirty work. That's how I envisioned it in my head. But that's not how it's actually going. Right now, it feels like 04 kind of like lacks objective responsibility. Simp literally does every aspect of the game by himself. And Booz, I'm not going to say anything bad about him, but there are some times maybe be a bit quicker. But I mean, he's great AR. I mean, I can't even lie. But it's like him and Draws are both playing at the same pace, and it's not a fast pace. And that's where the dynamic completely fucks up. Laugh a lot. It's almost like we knew FaZe would be a slow team. Everyone that's not named French from Cheesecake on. That's crazy. Yeah, but yeah, he's not been playing good. Felt like they should have won. Sent further proving how much of a generational talent he is. He's a generational talent, but I mean, he needs to perform more when like it matters. Like these qualifiers are great. He's doing great, but has to perform in like COD champs. Like COD champs, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna turn it around. 0.8 or like fuck some. Like just got tucked into bed. Good night. Throw the blanket on him. Give him a pillow. Like that was him at Black Ops 6 champs. You know, that's not what you expect from like Simp. You know, you gotta perform in those scenarios. Like you can't just get by being like a qualifier fucking warrior. You can't be a qualifier warrior. You gotta do the deed when it matters the most. And it's so funny. Like some also want to bring up on that point. So I remember when Scrap was playing against them at champs in MW3 and like he beat them like whole-handedly, 3-0'd them, draws a girlfriend in the crowd. He's doing like the tears. He's pointing. Worst day of Draws' life. But I remember in like the post-game interview what Scrap was saying. And I actually thought it was actually kind of true, honestly. I actually thought he was kind of spitting. He's like, I'm better than all of them. All of them freaking need each other. Like, all of them know they need each other. And I was like, oh my God. I actually kind of, like, I actually agreed. Like, it felt like Scrap had enough confidence that he could do it by himself. But it's like, it felt like FaZe at that time felt like they all needed each other in order to, like, win. You know? Like, they didn't just think, I'm the shit, I'm the shit, I'm the shit, I'm the shit. And we'll just shit on everyone together. You know? It felt like they needed each other in order to be good. If that makes sense. So when Scrap was saying that, I was like, man, he actually kind of spin. Scrap said like they have a fuck mental block. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And I think it comes down, I think it's partially, I'm not going to say it's like a in real life thing, but it does come down to like you personally. Like, are you really actually a confident person? I don't think like Sim's like truly like a confident person. I'm not sure if that affects his gameplay sometimes. But I can't even go off like these fuck major qualifiers. Like they don't matter to me. Like the major qualifiers don't matter to me. What matters to me is when that grand finals is on. When you're in that grand finals, when you're in that losers final and the team needs you, are you dropping an 0.8 or are you doing whatever you can? And you're like overperforming. Like those are what makes like the great players great. If he wants to just be known as a great player, like what a great career, you know, just keep coasting. But if you want to be a great player, if you want to be known as the best in the world, like he even like thinks he's like the greatest player of all time, you got to perform when it matters, not just in the qualifiers. Like these are great performances. Don't get me wrong. Simp is literally the win condition for FaZe Vegas. Like if he is not playing good, this team does not win because everyone else is not doing anything. Everyone. Like I'm not even exaggerating. Whatever you want to say about 04, like some maps he's had some great response. It feels like no one's doing anything besides Simp. Like Simp is Joe DeCease from Black Ops 6. And it sounds so funny that I'm saying Simp is like another player, and it's like, oh, and it's a quite frankly new player. But like, Simp is Joe from Black Ops 6. Joe was literally, in my opinion, the best hardpoint player in Black Ops 6. Was doing it all. He was banging that hill, winning that hill, holding that hill, defending that hill. He was doing everything. Taking the bomb in S&D, dropping 8. Like, you know, performing in control, performing in every single respawn, doing every aspect of the game to win. That feels like Simp right now in Black Ops 7. Exact same energy. But now we gotta talk about the series. Oh my god, we just spent that. I mean, I could talk about this team forever. I could talk about both these teams forever. There's so much to say, but don't want the podcast to go like 3 hours. So, FaZe had like a 4-1 lead in the Scar second map, and they trolled that. Like, they had a 4-1 lead. Thieves won 5 straight. FaZe Vegas obviously should be a good S&D team. They proved in the next game, but when you're up 4-1 and you just play slow every round after that, you are doing yourself a disservice. And all of them are S&D players. Draws a Simp, 04, like 3 massive S&D stars. And when you're up 4-1, you have some leeway. The tide is on your side, you know? The tide is on your side. The pendulum swings in your favor. You're telling me when you're at 4-1, you can't take some risks, you can't hit some flakes together, you can't get aggressive on something, try something out, because when the other team is down 4-1, this goes for any team, any player. Like I know all you guys have like played S&D before. How many of you, when you're down like 3-0, 4-0, you're kind of just like, let's just hit this shit. Like, let's just like do this shit. Like, that's how the other team is when like they're down 4-1. They're just like, fuck, let's just do this shit. Let's just try this shit out. Like, fuck, I guess we already like kind of lost, so let's try this shit. So like when the other team's in that predicament and they're thinking like that, you're not trying to just like sit back. Like, go try to do something. Catch them off guard. Try to like win some rounds. You got some rounds to throw away. Playing it slow, playing it everyone, like, it just didn't fly with me. Especially on Scar, when you're just sitting back, allowing them to take control of A and plant, having to play retakes. FaZe just played retakes on defense. They just let these play retakes. Try 2-man hitting P3 and a guy going mid. Try something. They didn't try anything. These won 5 rounds in a row. Exposure. These were up 4-1 with like 2.5 minutes left. These barely should have won that map. But FaZe came back, and it was 4-4. And it was a 4v2. It was a 4v2. They had 2 guys in LA Thieves spawn, and they had like a guy who was licking a wall over at P2 and a guy in mid. They were not moving. But they had a 4v2, but what they didn't know was the EMP spawned on the other side of the map. And Abizi grabbed it, and Abizi had his knife out, by the way. I'm not sure if anyone brought that up. I know people were bringing up in like the chat after the fact, but Abizi had his knife out with the EMP. So I need some answers about that. I need some answers. Abizi literally had his knife out. You're only supposed to have your pistol out. It usually just pulls out your pistol. You can't switch to a knife. Abizi had his knife out, and he ran the EMP because everyone from FaZe thought, oh, we cannot scam. But it's like, I don't blame them in that scenario because so much was going on, and like, they're thinking LA Thieves was off spawn. Like, we just can't move. We can't troll. We can't get a shot in the back. But what they didn't know, they were already gone. And they just took the EMP in and they won overtime. Crazy, crazy ending. If you haven't seen it, it's on my YouTube, you know, as well. It's on my Twitter, too. But technically, we should have seen a map 4, but we didn't. So who knows what would have happened. Maybe LA Thieves should have won anyway. But at the end of the day, it was a 3-0 for LA Thieves. A good win for them. Abizi now 2-0 over Simp so far this Black Ops 7 season. So he's doing a little bit of like the you know, he's doing a little bit of that. But it's not like Simp's getting pissed on. Like, Simp's performing in these series, but he has 3 guys not performing at all. And it's not helping the fact at all. Not helping the fact at all. He needed some help. He really did need some help. Like, bad. Like, Abizi had a 2.0 in S&D, a 1.52 in Hardpoint. I mean, great out of him. I mean, freaking Simp was just doing it all, like, every map, it felt like. Just absolutely going off. But that's, like, the LA Thieves versus FaZe series. I could talk about this series for like another hour, but we don't have time for that. All right. Going into Saturday, day number 2 of the CDL opening weekend, we had Toronto Koi against Miami Heretics, the new E Clasico, the Real Madrid against Barcelona, even though I don't feel like the same aura about that I guess everyone else is feeling. Like I actually don't feel that. I just don't feel that. So like, teach their own. Wait, hold on, I gotta catch up on the chat. So if Simp has an MVP caliber year but drops another opponent at champs, does he deserve to be on a super team like Scrappa Hydra? I would say he deserves to be on a super team. He just doesn't deserve to be called like the greatest of all time. But yeah, I mean, like, he's him. But if he drops another 0.8 at champs, he needs to pull an Eminem and just go in the mirror and just look at himself, be like, what have I become? You know, that type of stuff. Like, that's what you got to do. You got to be like, what type of fucking shitter did I just become? Because he needs to perform when it matters the most. But yeah, E Clasico, El Clasico, whatever you want to call it, the COD Clasico. The beef is real. I mean, everything's in aroma doing those crazy tweets. But Koi versus Miami ends 3-2 in favor of Koi. Koi won 250 to 85 first map Scar hardpoint. I believe they were up 130 to 0 before Miami got a point. Something like that. Absolutely crazy. A 6-5 Miami S&D win in map number 2, which was Scar. They came back and they showed resilience. I think they're also down like 4-1 or 4-2, and like they came back and won. Very impressive. It was like 5-3, I think. Some along those lines where they swung and they got a bunch of rounds in a row and they won. Koi then beats them down. 8-0 exposure overload. Perfect 4 in both rounds. Miami didn't even see past mid-map. We're going to get into that. And then Miami won the Den hardpoint 250 to 199. And then Koi won last map. Den S&D 6-3. As we're not really getting into the scoreboards because, you know, we don't really care about the scoreboards out here. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Miami. And I think a lot of people actually do know that Miami was a bit late when it came to practice and everything. You know, they had players that spent like the first week, I think, playing from Spain. I think some of them scrimmed from Spain. You had Trakes, who came in late because of his visa and flying in. You know, people have to remember, you're not just flying in to like a new place. You're also getting situated into like whatever like your new place is. Like, that takes some time, you know. It takes some time to get comfortable, and then you're expected just to hop on, start scrimming, you know, doing all that stuff, you know. Like, you got to give that transition period like some time. And I thought this was very bad if you're from the POV of Koi, because I feel from their perspective this should have been a lot less close, like a 3-0 or a 3-1 with a convincing map number 4. Miami's very unpracticed, but from what I've seen from Miami in this series, maybe I'm the only one that saw it, this is super duper impressive from Miami. I thought the resilience that they showed and the composure that they showed, especially after map 1 and map 3, to bounce back on the map 2 and the map 4, absolutely phenomenal. And if that's just like a glimpse of what we're going to see from an unpracticed team, imagine what Miami we're going to get by like maybe stage 2. We're going to get a way better version of Miami. A lot of people not convinced by Trakes. I thought Trakes, even though he had a 0.82, I thought he had a good series for what, like, I'm not sure, but I was like really watching him. Like, he actually was not that bad. Maybe the scoreline does not reflect it, but I thought Miami, for the most part, played very good. So, like, that Scar, I guess he just got hit in the mouth. I'm just going to, like, call it what it is. I guess Koi just outperformed him on that map. I guaranteed by like the next stage or even like way later into this major qualifier, they play that map again. That's not happening. And then the resilience on Scar, after getting beat down by your blood rivals in map number 1, to come back in map number 2 and win that map 6-5. Great composure, great resilience. They played the rounds very smart. Like, they read the pressure. I think, dude, I mean, we're going to have another year of super. I mean, the way this team, I even want to say this about the map 5. We'll just get a map 2 and map 5 right now because they're both S&Ds. Miami is so good at reading pressure and analyzing the info that they get as fast as possible and reacting as fast as possible when it comes to S&D. The second they get even the smallest clips of info, you could just see the way their arrows already know what the fuck to do, and they don't hesitate. They never hesitate. They know what space to take. They know what's open. I think they have a very good idea in their minds. If this person's shooting over here, we just killed the guy over here. This space is open over here. They're very good at that. And in the Scar, there were so many times where like Super would like, they would get great times in like store. I mean, everyone's calling it store. Some people are calling it ticket. I don't know why ticket. There's no tickets in there. I think that's a BZ calling it ticket. I was like, what the heck? But that building by P1, whatever you want to call that, they had very good times in there. They're very good at reading. Where I thought like they have a very good read. They're gonna be a very good S&D team. Let's just say that they're gonna be a very good S&D team. And then they got beat down map 3, and they had a very good map 4. Like there was times where they were like down and the momentum was not in their favor, but they out rotated and they held hills when they needed to hold hills, and they pulled out a good map 4. All great signs from Miami. Like they had great composure, I thought. And this was a very unpracticed Miami team. Very unpracticed, very not prepared, but I know their coaching staff is like very good at preparing the players. So it's like they prepared them with probably as best as you prepare a team that's very under practice. I thought, I mean, that's just kudos to everyone. Like I think Miami has a great coaching staff because they're one of the few teams I see where it's like when they're playing against a team, I could tell that they know what that team's doing. Like they know everything that team's doing, and they play off of what the other team's doing. Like, I see every time when they play a team, oh, FaZe likes to go here. We're all going to do this, or we're going to play for... Like, they're very good at doing their homework and actually executing it into whatever the game plan is on the map. So, I thought, great from a Miami perspective. Even though they lost, they're probably kicking themselves. They probably thought they maybe could have pulled it out, but I thought it was a great effort. And they're only going to get better. Like, Miami's like my number 5 team. I think they're going to be ahead of Koi when it comes to the overall season. I do think Koi is going to take a downtrend at some point, to be honest, but that's just me. I actually do think they're going to take a downtrend at some point. But from the Koi perspective, map number 1 looked great. The overload looked great, but how much stock do you want to put into an overload against a team who's probably not scrimmaged as much, you know? Or a team very under practice, but you can't really use under practice all the time because they did have a chance to scrim it, but maybe not as much as Koi. And they didn't really know what was going on that map. Because the thing about the exposure overload is Koi did a good job of just locking down the middle of the map. Miami was, I think maybe once or twice, got past like the halfway point of the map. Koi controlled that whole P1 area. They had control first half and the second half, and they had control of P1. You get the kills P1, and the thing with exposure, when you're dominating the P1 area, that mid area, you control the whole game because you could take the EMP to whatever side. You have control of mid. They only have to rotate out like their back halves. They can't really do anything because you're literally dominating the top part of the map, and you could be direct and push like their spawn from just like straight middle. Miami had no control of mid in that exposure overload. Koi on both sides were dominating mid, slaying out mid, and then taking the MP and running it on whatever side, and then the guy mid would go cut off or go help or go get ahead, and Miami couldn't do anything on that map. And I thought like the Den last map was such a good map to watch. Like if you actually go back and watch that was my favorite S&D of the whole entire weekend because the way that Miami was playing, I just thought it was great. Like the way that they were just like reading things, and it felt like a chess game where both teams were like, I just like love like the intellect I saw from both teams on the map 5. Like I just like really love that map. I actually might go back and watch it again. Like it was actually a great map. I actually love that map. It was actually a great map. Yo, what's good? The God RX gracing us with his presence. What's good, brother? What's good? But yeah, great scenes from the POV of Miami. Oh my god, that fucking scared me.
Keep up the work, fam. You're doing amazing.
Oh my god. I didn't realize how loud I had my. Oh my god. Bro. I have my mix up turned up so loud, bro. That just tweaked me out. Oh my god. Oh my god, but thank you. Thank you for the dollar in super chat though. I'm tweaking, bro. My headset, dude, my mix amp was like all the way up, so all I heard was oh, oh my god. My heart just like, holy cow, I'm tweaking. Appreciate the super chat. Keep up the work, fam. Like, you're doing amazing. I appreciate you, GodRx. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for spending your hard-earned money on me. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you. See, I'm actually
Keep
ready
up
for it
the
that
work,
time.
fam. You're doing amazing.
Okay, I gotta like fix the alert. I have the alerts going twice. I don't know why. Anyways, like we'll get back to that. From the perspective of Koi, you probably should have won this map a bit more convincing. Definitely should have won that map number 2. Definitely could have been a 3-0. But I mean, you're playing a pretty good team, and I thought just Miami was great. That's my biggest takeaway from this series, honestly, is Miami in losing looked very good. They looked very good, and I loved it. They were playing that map very good. Did I have anything to say about this? Okay, so on Twitter, I said, easily the best S&D I've watched so far. Miami is such a smart/fun S&D team. Very great at reacting quick off info collected every round and anticipating where to chow/push or go. Just some trolly decisions like the last round. Okay, yeah. I should actually talk about this. So, on the 5-3 round of the map number 5, Miami got a kill. It was like a 3v3. And they were on offense over on the B side. And they got a kill in dojo. They had dojo control. Obviously, they don't know where the last people on Koi was, but they had dojo control. And they knew no one was going to be like on their side spawn. So it's either they come from mid or they come from dojo. And they didn't even plant the bomb. They had a 3v2 with full dojo control side. Someone could have sat on the head glitch of dojo and the guy planted towards dojo. Like, it was that simple. And they opted to just run to the back spawn and run into both their crosshairs and get 2v3'd in the back spawn. And they lost the game. They could have made it a 5-4 and maybe took it into OT. Who knows what could have happened from there. Maybe they still lost. But they played so good, and then to just have that brain dead thing happen that last round was not good. Was not good. But I do still think Miami's going to become the best. Like the number 5 team. They're going to become the real best of the rest. Like, if we're talking about like the top 4 teams and then who's going to be the best of everybody else, like that's Miami in my opinion. So that's great for Miami. And yeah, Koi won 3-2 and we're going to move along. What pros gameplays do you try and replicate in your own games you play? I mean, I have my own like style of play, but I mean, honestly, the biggest thing that you take from pros is, and I mean, like, you can't even take it from every pro, honestly, because like there's like a lot of bad pros, but from like the good ones, honestly, like the biggest thing I implement, I don't really, obviously there's like a lot of things people do, like the way like they chow stuff, like the spots that they go in. But the biggest thing is just like spawns. It's just spawns, blocking, like you see people get kills, you see other people sprint back, you see how long people hold, like to go for a pinch, the timings, like that's the type of stuff I learned from, and I learned that stuff from everyone. There's not a single player I'm like, oh, I just copy everything they do. I just like see whenever like a player like does something good, I take it in, and like that's it. And yeah, you can't really like mold off of like one player's gameplay because it's like everyone has their way of playing. That's like idolizing your gameplay off of AG. Not a good idea. But AG's a kill whore, like, you know, obviously he's like an S tier player, but he's an F tier teammate. I already said that before, but yeah, you can't really like copy one person's gameplay. You just have to take good things from everybody. You got to see people doing good things and go like, oh, in this situation, I got to start playing it like that. That's how you got to start thinking. Like, you have to see how people are in certain situations, like hill holds, breaking, how they slide across, like how they use their teammates, watching pinches on rotation, what times to rotate at. There's like that type of stuff is the stuff you want to take from pros. Like, not just like, oh, I see how fuck shots he plays and how he pinches every round, I'm going to play exactly like that every time. You know, don't really do that. Like, just try to take like good things from everyone. But yeah. Up next on the Saturday, Vancouver against Paris. I mean, I'm going to slide by this series. Paris trolled this whole series. I mean, they won 3-0, 250 to 152 Colossus. Vancouver actually played the first half of that map very good, by the way. And then, I mean, like, they just got overcame. That's what it was. 6-3 raid. Paris was trolling a lot of rounds. They could have won that like 6-1. And then a 4-1 Den overload victory from Paris. A 3-0. And where should we go from here? I guess we'll get into the biggest talking point, which is the guy everyone likes to talk about. And it's Legend. And I made a tweet about this. I've talked about this before. I made a nice docu-series piece about Legend. So if you haven't seen that, go and watch it, because it's cinema. Go watch it. That's freaking cinema. That is cinema. Who's your GOAT then? I don't have one. Oh, if you're talking about overall COD GOAT, my bad. Like, before I answer that, my overall COD GOAT is Karma. For me. For me, it's Karma. Because he was able to go from like a kill whore to being like a baiter. Like, he did every role, and he exceeded at every role. The only 3-time on LAN world champion. But yeah, but that's my GOAT though. Legend's damage output and respawn is pretty concerning. He's lost right now. Yeah, so I pretty much went through this in like my docu-series, but I just want to reiterate the point. So with my tweet that I guess I'll pull up on the screen. So Legends' first room for improvement at the moment that requires immediate attention is his lack of interactions. You can't be the second SMG with consistently/significantly the lowest damage/kills than everyone on the team every game. It was like that in scrims and tourneys they played at the beginning of the season. And I remember hearing Gwyn talk about that with him too, saying, just don't think too much, just run more. You're the green light player. Everyone on the team was telling him that. Definitely needs to think less and do more. He's the green light player, and that will make the map easier for the team. Just needs to find the confidence, in brackets, he'll get there. Even though that loss was obvious and inevitable, there were some promising signs for Surge. So that's the biggest thing for Legend, is just you can even see his arrows sometimes. There's like sometimes it happened like sometimes on Colossus. Like, I remember there's a time it was like P4 and he was up top P1, and I could see him hesitating on like if it's the right time to hit a pinch. I know that spot for a pinch is very 50-50. You get some terrible timing, like jumping from P1 like down over on like the P4 side. You get some bad timing in there. But there's a lot of times he hesitates. He's just not in the fight as much as his teammates. Like, his teammates are essentially, when it comes to respawn, playing like a 3v4, because one player is just playing way slower. When your second SMG is playing slower than the main AR, that is a problem. That is a red flag. That is sirens. That is red sirens. That is a problem that needs to be fixed as soon as possible. He's the second SMG. He had 5,700 damage in this series. Everyone on his team, 7,600, 8,500, 7,500. So he had like 2,000 less than like the next person on his team. That is like a whole respawn in a 3-0. That's like pretty much almost like 3/4 of a respawn in a whole series that he was like behind in terms of just pacing and interactions from everyone else on his team. So who's to say if his interactions, I mean, granted they're playing Paris, probably would have lost anyway. But they played the first half of that Colossus map number 1 pretty well, dude. Like, they could have maybe actually caught Paris off guard and actually won that map, but then they just collapsed. And then they collapsed, and then like they went down. So like you can even like see it here. Like, it's like a small sample size, but it's like He's 25 and 28, which is pretty close to everybody, but it's like Abe is 26. Abe has 1 more kill than him and has 1,000 more damage. Which just leads me to believe that like he's just picking up on like people that are one shot or like something. That's what that strikes to me. Because it's like, how does Abe have 1,000 more than you, but he has like one more kill than you? He has 1,000 more damage. That's like 10 more kills. That's crazy. But yeah. He's lost right now. Like, that's a good point. Yeah, it actually is a great point. Thank you. Also, does it help that Lunars is like legit hot ass? I mean, like you said it, not me, man. But I mean, I don't want to be too harsh on him because like the immediate issue is legend. And who's to say? Because like I said, the KD doesn't just come down to getting pissed on. It also comes down to what your teammates are doing. And who's to say? Because it is harder to be an AR. So if we want to look at it from both perspectives, if you're an SMG player and your ARs can't get any kills, like that sort of makes your job a bit harder because you have nobody who's locking down fucking lanes for you. But I mean, as an SMG, like you can still kind of make your own magic happen. But look at it from the other perspective. If you're an AR, because Vancouver Surge had this problem last year, and that's why they dropped Nasty. And then when they picked up Neptune, everyone was saying in every post-game interview, man, the map just feels easier because we have a player that's fuck faster and gets kills. So who's to say Lunars does not do better if he has his second SMG doing more? Because his second SMG is matching his pace. So it's like the map's not as open as it should be for like an AR to like lock down lanes because it's like there's not enough pressure happening on the map. You know, because there's a player who's like significantly behind everyone else. So who's to say that doesn't make an AR's job harder? It's not going to make Gwyn's job harder because Gwyn is like a natural born kill whore. In a good way and a bad way. So he's always going to be doing good no matter how. When you're a natural born kill whore, it doesn't matter who on your team's performing, you're always going to do well. And Gwyn's that guy. Gwyn is that guy. He's a natural born kill whore. But I mean, he's also like a great player too anyway. But, it's more of the other aspect to his game. It's like the intellectual part that maybe is like a bit lacking. But I feel like for Gwyn, like the skill's always been there. I'm so sorry if I yawn. I mean, I'm not tired. I just like yawn whenever I yap a lot. It's just the way it is. You have to live with it. But yeah, Vancouver debit pace is an issue. That's the first thing I need them to work on, and then we'll see how it is from there. And then we'll see. Legend, Sabri, pick up the fucking pace, and then we'll see how your team does. If your team still does bad, we'll go on to the next issue. But the first issue that you need to take into every scrims, think less. Turn your brain off. Don't think too much. Just hit shit. Just hit the route. Don't think. Hit the direct. Be by your teammates. Get their trades. Read pressure. And we'll see how it goes from there. And then we'll dissect the next issue. Let's take it one issue at a time. Let's not focus on the, like, let's block this spawn, let's block that spawn. Because that's not going to matter when there's just a player, like, not moving. It feels like everyone else is, like, significantly ahead of him when it comes, like, the damage and everything. So let's just focus on that issue first. Let's focus on the pacing first. And let's go from there. Lunars per 10 minutes in respawn last year was abysmal and was 60th in hill time. Legit uses in BO6 and he's picking up right where he left off. He's too slow of a player for this title. You could say that. I mean, I've never been high on him at all. I don't even know how he got onto this team. I'm pretty sure he got onto this team because he's like a nice guy. That's the only thing I can imagine. They were trying to surround Legend with like good players. And I see the way that they talk to him too. Like they talk to him very nice. Like they coddle him, and that's great because you're not trying to be like, dude, you actually suck. You're not doing anything. You don't want players around like that. So I'm sure all these are players that didn't really have another choice, and like they're on this team and they're just trying to like make the most of it. But yeah, I've never rated him. I haven't even seen a glimpse. So like usually when like a player does bad, you usually see a glimpse of like why they should be in the league. I don't know what that glimpse is like for Lunars. I've never seen that yet. Even on LAG or not, no matter what bad team you're on, okay? It doesn't matter what bad team you're on. There's got to be a glimpse. There's got to be something. Scrap, I remember talked about it. I remember like the flank. There's like a flank episode in MW3 where Exceed was going off like, there's no chances. Like, no matter what you do, you just can't da-da-da-da. And I remember Scrap chimed in, and he's just like, dude, it doesn't matter what bad team you are. You just have to try to be undeniable. You just have no choice. You have to go out of your way to be undeniable. If you're not, then you're just not good enough. Like, if you can't at least do something. And being undeniable is not dropping like a 1.4, but just being able to play good and do good, regardless of your bad situation, and at least be like the shining light in a situation. That's basically what he means. Not one time have I ever thought, this guy is the shining light. But I don't know. That's just me. If they had like a different AR, I feel like the team actually probably would have been way better, but that's on top of Legend, who needs to speed up. So, yeah, definitely some pacing issues there, but I mean, it was just a 3-0. Paris was having so much fun. They're laughing. They're trick shotting. They're trying stuff. I mean, yeah, not really much to talk about there. Not really much to talk about there. And then the last game of Saturday, they put the main event on for day number 2. The main event of Saturday. Okay, are you guys ready? Hold on, before we get into that, another comment. Legend probably doesn't want to get into a game where he finds himself like triple neg, especially with all the Haiti policies, but I agree the pace matters more. Yeah, and especially since everyone on his team's encouraging him, bro, just don't think about it. Just hit shit. Like, you just need to just like forget about it. Like, try it out in scrims. Just hit shit. He's like too slow right now. You need to be faster. And then after he's faster and maybe like he's doing better, they need to like replace one of those ARs maybe. They need to replace. I'm not talking about Gwyn. I think Gwyn and Abe are actually great pieces. I think if you replace the Lunars with like a better AR, like I'm thinking, who am I thinking? I'm thinking even Diamond Con, bro. Give me somebody. Give me Yuli, even though he's on SMG. Give me someone better. Like, give me someone better. The team probably is like way better, But now we're getting into the main event of Saturday. The main event of Saturday. The match everybody was waiting for to end off their Saturday night, their Saturday evening. It is G2 Minnesota against Cloud9. G2 Minnesota against Cloud9. I'm going to make this short. Actually, I may not make it short because I actually like to yap. This series is very disappointing from both teams' aspects. From both teams' POV, this is a very disappointing series because from both teams' POV, you want to beat this team and you want to beat them pretty like convincingly because it's like a team around you. This is a good I forgot the word. A good indicator, I guess. Let's go with that word. It's a good indicator to see where you are right now against the team around you. And I thought this is one of like the worst series I've seen in a while. I mean, obviously there's some terrible ones. I mean, I'm not saying it's the worst ever, but this whole game, it looked like nobody wanted to win. And I guess that's just like what you get when it's like two teams that are way lower on the totem pole. But this game, legit, that map number 1, it looked like nobody wanted to win. Like some people could argue it's like it was a back and forth map number 1, but I was seeing scam after scam after scam. And I'm like, okay, I guess nobody just wants to win. I guess I'm just going to watch just to see what happens, I guess. I mean, because, no one wants to win. No one wants to win. Cloud9. Okay, I was actually going to say Rocker, but it's actually Minnesota. I got to start saying that. Minnesota, not Rocker. Minnesota. So Cloud9 New York won first map Colossus 250 to 221. Minnesota, I almost said Rocker, won Colossus S&D map number 2 6 to 2. A lot of snipes on that map. Rocker won Overload Den, map number 341. Cloud9 won Scar Hardpoint, 250 to 225. And then Rocker won Scar S&D 6 to 3. Yeah, just a series looked like nobody wanted to win. Cloud9, if you can't beat Rocker, I mean, it's looking pretty bleak for you against like the rest of the league. That's all I got to say. Even in the hard points that they won, they weren't that convincing, but it is nice to win both hard points. It gives you some confidence. The hard point wasn't looking that convincing. The S&D not looking convincing at all because they lost both of them. And then the overload not looking good at all. Beans, I mean, I'm not sure if it's just me. I'm not sure if it's just a hate watch because of what he did to me last year after I supported him so much. But I already said, if you can't perform on that Ultra team with those pieces around you, how are you going to perform on any other team? And I said this will probably be like the last year for Beans on like, I mean, this is not even like a top team, so I can't even say that. But yeah, before you know it, he's going to be back in EU Challengers. Like, it's like on that type of level. Like, before you know it, this guy's going to be back in EU Challengers. It just unconvincing for some reason. Because, like, it's not like his damage is not there. It's not like... Actually, I guess that's all I can say. It's not like the damage is not there. But for some reason, I don't like his pace and I don't like the way he plays. I just like don't like it anymore. I guess you could get away with that in MW2, but after that, I mean, just uninspiring gameplay all the time from him. I'm just not convinced. And the thing with Reese is, Reese, I thought the world of as an SMG player. And then I think he got bullied into an AR like last year because everyone's like, oh, you make too many 6 with SMG or something like that. I was like, ridiculous. This guy's like actually so smart as SMG. Ever since he moved to the AR, he's just a consistent 0.9. It's like he will never, ever with an AR have like a takeover like series. And I'm not sure if that's a good quality or that's a bad quality because he plays the game for the most part pretty correct, but he's not an X factor. He's not an X factor in slaying. And I feel like this team, I talked about it before, even in my podcast with the Cloud9 head coach, which I highly recommend you guys go take a gander at. My podcast with the Cloud9 head coach who went through his whole career. It was like 2 hours and 45 minutes. It was great. But, you know, I was a stuttering fucking giant in that fucking thing. I'm actually so disappointed about that. This team, the win condition is the AR, or is the SMGs. Like, the ARs are never going to both fry. The ARs are never going to win them the series. This literally comes down to Afro or Mac. And this scoreboard is a perfect description of everything I think. It's like, Reese is always going to be like that 0.98. Like, not doing bad, but not doing super great. But he's never going to give you takeover. He's never going to give you that, like... He's never going to give you that pressure that you need. He's just a very, like... I feel like the balance with the ARs they have is, like, the same issue that Ultra had last year with Beans and Insight. It's, like, too slow ARs because you would think Reese is going to be super fast with the AR. But it's, like... If you're an SMG player transitioning over to an AR, there's, like, a period of time where it's, like, you're so used to playing fast that you think that when you have the AR, you just play slower. And you just play slower for a while and you think it's, like, the right way to play. So you're not used to, like... You're not super comfortable with the AR playing super fast. And I think Reese has been in that sort of area where it's like he's not super fast, but he's not like an Insight slow. And he's just like an average 0.9 who's not going to like super duper do anything, but he is going to play like right for the most part. And it's just not sustainable, especially in the Call of Duty League. It's sustainable in challengers, you know, when you're playing against that level of competition. But the second you go up against the optics or whatever, you're just going to get smacked around. And, I mean, they got smacked around by Rockers. So, I mean, you know, very uninspiring. Like, that AR duo, I mean, I just, like, Afro and Mac are such a good SMG duo. Like, that just looks so great. But it's like the ARs just take you out of it. The ARs just take you out of it. I know Reese is there because he came with Mac. Not sure if they're a package deal or whatever, but I would have chalked that. And I would have been like, dude, I gotta find someone better, dude. Like, if they had a one better AR, there better be an AR and Challengers performing, and Cloud9 better pick them up. I'm not even kidding. Like, drop Beans as soon as possible or drop Reese and get someone who actually pushes some pace and actually gets some kills. It's actually crazy to imagine how much teams like a Merc would improve. Like, if you throw a Merc on a Cloud9, that team actually becomes way better. There's so many teams you could throw an AR like that on right now and they'll do way better, but it's like we're trying to find those ARs, like a Neom. fuck get Neum on this fucking team, dude. Like, try him somewhere. I mean, if I'm fucking Neum, I'm thinking I could get on a better team, to be honest. So I would just like chill, but at the same time, you kind of gotta take your spots, to be honest. If they got a Neum in there, I mean, that'd be way better. But yeah, I'm uninspired by Beans all the time. I really am. I'm just uninspired all the time. So, yeah. A series where both teams definitely should have thought they would win more convincingly. That's what I thought. And it looked like nobody wanted to win. This is a terrible series for my eyes to watch. Partially due to it being a double Colossus map 1 and map 2. Absolutely ridiculous. Cloud9 doesn't know how to play Overload yet. So Rocker won that. Rocker had pretty good reps before. And then Scar, Cloud9 won. Like, I think they just clutched up at the end. Like, they actually made like some clutches on like last P5 and last P4, I think. I forgot. But yeah. And then like the map number 5, Rocker's just very good at that map. Kremp has a very good grasp of Scar S&D. You got Sky sniping. They controlled like the motel side very well. Cloud9 didn't really have an answer for it. And yeah, that is the Rocker Cloud9 series. Not a great series. Who's the MVP, by the way? It was Astriel, really? Interesting. I mean, I guess he had 113 kills. I mean, holy cow. But like, yeah. And also, Skies. Have to talk about this real quick. A lot of players, for some reason, I feel like a lot of players bring their bad habits year after year and like don't change anything. He had this issue on Optic, and I understand his POV. Like, his excuse was like, I already got all these players like flying around. Like, I need to be the glue guy who like steps back and looks at the bigger picture. Whatever picture you're looking on, I can't see it either. You need to speed up. Like, it even happened in like their game against Optic as well. It's like just interactions significantly lower than the next person. You just need to do more in those respawns. I understand there's got to be a player who's blocking spawns. That's no excuse, honestly, because I see Optic all the time. Like, the way they play, everyone's around the same interactions. There's never, ever, you'll never see an Optic game unless a person's getting dunked on. Like, if they're getting dunked on like 2 and 20, you know? But you'll never see an Optic game where it's like everyone's at like 15, 14, 16, and there's a player at like 8. You'll never see that because like they found a way to involve everyone and everyone synergized. And why are people not copying that? Because like Skies is like such a talented player, but it's like he's just in this he's in this mode where he just has to play slower, and it's got to stop. It's going to cost him a lot of hard points in the future. It will. Trust me. It will. It will. But yeah, that's what I want to bring up. And I thought Mamba was a great addition to this team, by the way. Great addition. Like, he brings such an impact. Like, he brings such an impact on the map to like the respawns, and I think just like mentality in general. I think Mamba's great. Great player. All right. We made it to Sunday, and we're like an hour and how long into this? An hour and 42. I literally said that wasn't going to over 2 hours. Holy cow, I just yapped. I'm just a professional yapper, I swear. I'm a professional yapper. Well, that's good. I got time. Riyadh Falcons. So the first game of Sunday, Riyadh Falcons against the LA Thieves. I'm going to try not to like talk about this shit this could be a 2.5 hour podcast. I swear. I could talk forever. So LA Thieves won 3-1. Riyadh Falcons won first map Scar 250 to 236. LA Thieves then 6-0'd them on Den S&D, 5-1 them on Den Overload, 250 to 207 on Hardpoint Exposure. So the key takeaways from this series for me is it looks like the Falcons put all their practice effort into Hardpoint and none into the other modes. Like, it's very telling to tell. Their S&D dynamic is off. So like I made a tweet, and I'm going to pull my tweet again. So I said, quite very simply, Kismet should not be sniping. Celium should. Falcons have no strats, no diversity, no teamwork. S&D looks shameful. Definitely put all their practice effort into respawn. Okay, so yeah. So first of all, why is Kismet sniping? Okay, That's my first question. The snipe should always go to like the slowest player on the team or like the main AR on the team. That's what I think. Kismet should be the bomb carrier because it's like it shouldn't be Exit or AG. Like they should be able to go make plays. Kismet is he's the no-brainer for the person that takes the bomb. But instead he's sniping. And when he snipes, MC now plays slow. So that dynamic is completely chalked. Why not give MC the sniper, which kind of forces him to play a bit faster, you know, because you have to like get to some points and hard aim some stuff. And then Kismet, Xnit, and Pred all going together doing some. Or AG on an island and Xnit and Kismet working a bomb, you know. That should be the dynamic in S&D. And I'm surprised like Kismet's even sniping. And it's like, you don't have to snipe, by the way. You actually don't have to snipe. You know, snipe's not mandatory, by the way, just so people understand. The snipe's not mandatory. But I thought Falcons looked very promising in the hard point. They switched up their dynamic from the first map that they had. They now had Xnid roaming off the hill, which brings out his best qualities even more. They had Pred contributing more to hill time, which made everyone's job easier. You had MC, who was the dedicated hill kitten, which is great. And then Kismet was kind of just doing like Kismet things. So just that dynamic in hardpoint made Falcons beat LA Thieves in that hardpoint. And not only that, but I think something a lot of teams have to put more emphasis into. And I will like sing to the mountaintops for this. This goes for every single hardpoint map. In this game, rotation is huge. Like this feels like prime Black Ops 2, where it's like rotation was huge. Rotation in this game has not been this important since like Cold War, I feel. The rotation has not been that important. And Falcons won a lot of rotations, which led to a lot of their hill time. A lot of times LA Thieves would find out the back, but they were able to make it close later. And also, on the Scar hardpoint, LA Thieves couldn't lock down a single P2. They couldn't even hold the P2. They couldn't do anything in P2. They were getting broken, and they couldn't break. Definitely something to think about from an LA Thieves perspective. Like, we pretty much lost every P2, and that's why we lost the game. If we got one P2, we actually win the game. You know, but they didn't even get one. They were getting broken, or they were trying to break, and just getting 3-4 down every single time. So that's definitely a hill they got to work on. Falcons overall were very competitive in the hardpoints, which is great for them. Like, they're actually being competitive in hardpoint. Great strides towards improvement. Who knows how long they're going to like really hone down on hardpoint before they start focusing on the other modes. But yeah, you could tell this team has no S&D practice. The way people are like bumping into each other, like not knowing what's going on, very telling. And then they have no practice in Overload. I watched them play Overload against, I think it was against LA Thieves. Yeah, it actually was against LA Thieves. So I'm going to pull up this example here. I thought this was mind-blowing. This, once again, from my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. So this is a Falcons ball right here. Falcons ball right here. For those of you on video, if you're on audio, you know, and you have Spotify, you can pull it open and actually watch along, you know. But yeah, so this was the beginning of the Den Overload. And I think this is Xnit and AG. I think this is Xnit and AG. And off the break, Xnit and AG, like they take long routes and they end up in LA Thieves spawn. And they pretty much leave their other two teammates to fight everybody. And then LA Thieves get the EMP and like they could like run this shit in, but then they end up taking like a long round. They troll. But you know, this is just one of the many examples. Like two guys gave up the whole map and LA Thieves like recognized it, like, oh, okay, these guys are hitting a flank or something. And then you left two guys ISO'd and they both died and you almost like lost the cap off of that. So that's just one of the many examples that Falcons like just don't have any practice or any strats or any teamwork going in that game mode and in S&D as well. Hardpoint's pretty much the only thing it looks like they actually worked on. I'm pretty sure that's probably what the case is. But yeah, it was a nice ember. It was a nice ember glimpse from like the perspective of the Falcons to like have this be competitive in the hardpoints, because who knows, could have went map number 5. Who knows what would have happened. From the LA Thieves perspective, carry on what I was talking about for hours earlier. I love the compensation within this team. Everyone is contributing in different ways. I saw Hydra on bomb, great. Like everyone is like just like doing stuff. It's great. It's honestly great. I love it. and they're starting to find a balance between themselves. I thought Kenny actually played a great game. Granted, it is against like the Falcons, but he played a great game. And he's showing signs of confidence. Like, it looks like he's kind of getting his confidence back. I mean, how could you not be confident with a team like this? But he is looking very confident. He's great in the comms right now, and he's quote-unquote playing good. We'll see how he does against other competition, to be honest. Like, that's what really does matter. But, yeah. I'm very proud of LA Thieves for the strides that they made on the teamwork aspect. I'm not going to lie. Very, very happy with that. And Kismet obviously didn't have the best of series. My bad as I yawn again. He didn't have the best of series, but yeah, that's pretty much why like Hydra like dropped him. If you're curious, because there's just like random times you just drop at 0.7. It's like why, it's like why. But yeah, that is the LA Thieves Falcons series. Not gonna spend too much time on it. I probably could. I might have to start like actually cutting this for like talk about the Friday matches, talk about the Saturday, talk about the Sunday, exactly like the Flank does, like instead of doing them all at once. But we're on the final two games, so yeah, we're on the final two games. Let's go. So I take a sip of my water. Okay, so we had the Parish Gentlemates against FaZe Vegas, and it ended 3-2 FaZe. This was a hard Neslo series, and for those of you who don't know what a Neslo is, there was a player on Team Caliber back in the day, and his team, not only they got a lot of second places, but they're very well known for just going map 5 all the time, because they would lose like the respawns and they would sneak out S&D and like whatever the swing mode was, Blitz or Uplink, like the flukier mode, but they would lose like the more, what that's the word off the top of my head. It's not consistent. There's another word, but anyways, they would lose like the more like consistent respawns. And yeah, so that's pretty much what FaZe did. They nuzzled them. Paris won first map, Den 250 to 149. FaZe won Scar S&D 6-3. They won Exposure, Overload 6-1. Incredible game that was from the FaZe Vegas perspective. Paris had no answers. Exposure, Hardpoint, Paris won 250 to 130. And then map number 6, Den S&D, FaZe Vegas won 6-0. Great showing out of them. So, thoughts on this series. So, my initial thoughts, if you're FaZe, this is not a susceptible way to keep going. You're not going to win like this all the time. This is the same thing it was in Black Ops 6, Major 1 and Major 2. They were pretty happy about where their S&D and control was, and they didn't put as much emphasis in a hardpoint. This cannot happen. FaZe Vegas, you need to be a hardpoint team. You need to be a hardpoint team. You need to be a hardpoint team. You need that in your bag. You can't be inconsistent with the hardpoints. Because no matter how good you are at S&D, the S&D is not always going to be there. The S&D is not always going to be there. You're going to lose S&Ds no matter how good you are. S&D could be fluky sometimes. The other team could be pulling some crazy stuff. That mode is very inconsistent, and you can't just depend on that. You can depend on being good at the mode and, have a higher percentage chance of winning, but it cannot be your win condition. So from FaZe's Vegas perspective, they need to be better at hardpoint. I'm already slumping over my words. Holy cow. And from the Paris perspective, great in the hardpoints, but not so great in the other modes, obviously, as you could tell. I don't know what happened to their overload, because they were pretty good at S&D and overload, especially in the Caisson tourney and even like the monster tourney as well. Like, but they got even better during the Caisson tourney. Like, every mode looked pretty good for them. I'm not sure if it's because like they were feeling like they're playing down to FaZe. I mean, that'd be ludicrous if that was like the case. Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of an anomaly than like they're under practice, because I think they're practiced the exact same amount as FaZe Vegas. I think they just had an off day in the office, and partially I also think FaZe Vegas just came off of a crazy exposure overload against LAT where they're down 4-1 and they brought it back. So, like, they're now thinking, oh, my God, like, we know how to play this shit. Like, we should have won. And they probably, like, went over that map, like, right after, like, they lost it. So, it's like that team probably just felt like they already, like, had, like, the advantage going into that map, because it's like they just played it. They already knew what they needed to do better, and they executed it. And then, like, the exposure hardpoint, map number 4, I mean, 0-4 costed, like, 2 rotations. I mean, on that map, FaZe Vegas's P2 to P3 is horrendous, and they lost it both times, and that's a lot of time. Like the P2 and the P3. Obviously, they made the P2 a little bit mixy, but they were losing that P3 rotation every time. The same issue over and over again. Hitting hills over and over again, not securing spawns is their biggest issue. Like, not rotating first, and whenever you do, like, you get broken, all that stuff lingers in a hard point, and just, like, a pacing issue at the same time. And that comes down to 04 taking, like, a bunch of routes, and then happened so much on the exposure, to be honest. Like, 04 was, like, off, like, doing some stuff, and, like, they would have, like, an ISO'd, like, 3v2, or guys would be, like, just, like, done dirty, and just, like, always in a man disadvantage in every single situation. So, yeah. But yeah, they are better than FaZe at hardpoint, like even in like the map 1 den. The first P2, Simp rotated there first. Neptune was coming from green. They were having a one-on-one fight. This was for the P2 bread. And Neptune turned on Simp, and that was a 60-point swing. So who's to say if Simp doesn't get turned on that P2 rotation, the first one in the game, you could go back and watch it. If he doesn't get turned on there, who's to say FaZe doesn't win that map number 1, and we're looking at a completely different series, you know? So, who's to say? Paris, obviously, Paris needs to freaking work on everything. I don't think Paris is, like, super alarmed that there's one game mode they just have to work on, like, overnight, like, meticulously on over and over again. I think they're pretty much good at everything. They see to, like, tread, like, the path of just, like, getting more maps under their map pool and just being better. I mean, it's not really, like, it's not that deep to me, honestly, but from Dante's perspective, he was like, he kind of had like a little smirk on his face, like, I'm finally going to beat this guy. I'm finally going to beat Simp. And then, I'm sure he's probably beat him before, by the way. Actually, like, he has, yeah, like on the Vancouver team in like Vanguard. But yeah, Simp's like, I'm losing to this guy again, like after like they were just up. Yeah, so that's the Paris FaZe Vegas series. Not going to go too much into it because I'm like at the hour and 45-minute mark. Don't want to make this too long to render. It's going to be like a 3-hour render already. Probably going to go watch Monday Night Raw, even though I hate Raw right now. It's terrible. But yeah, FaZe Vegas with a good win, not a susceptible win. Like if I'm them, I'm happy. I got the points on the board. You got a win on the board. You don't want to go down 0-2. You need the wins. You want to start in the winners bracket for Major 1. But I would not be impressed if I'm FaZe by this victory. Like, this is not a sustainable way to win. You need to get better at the hard points. You just have to. But it was a good victory. They 6-0'd them last map. I just felt like Paris just had no answer to things they were doing. And the biggest thing, okay, not so much on the Scar, because on Scar, it's like a bit of a different dynamic. That map's just absolutely fucking fugazi, by the way. Like for SCD. That map's also going to be gone from SCD. But in the Den, Search and Destroy, I couldn't help but notice 04 had the bomb and Simp was playing an island all by himself and had no objective responsibilities. It was an absolute miracle. I even tweeted this, and I mean, this pretty much sums me up with joy right here. 04 and court taking bomb. Simp could do whatever he wants. I used to pray for times like this. You got Cristiano Ronaldo crying at the time that he won the Euros against France. And that's how I feel. Crazy. And I don't want to take credit for it. Okay? Because I'm sure this is definitely something that they addressed. But I find it hard to believe they did not see the stuff I was saying about FaZe and they implemented it, like, quite literally the next day. I cannot sit here and think that they didn't, you know? I'm just saying. I could be wrong. I could be trying to take credit, but that's just how I feel. I don't know. Seems like they may have gone like, I just scream from the mountaintop, Simp, don't take the bomb! Please don't take the bomb, man! And they finally just gave it to 04. And just said, you figure it out, twin. And 04 is good with the bomb because a lot of times in S&D, 04 and Abuza are roaming together. So it's like, take the bomb with you then, you know? And let Simp do whatever he wants. And that dynamic worked great. And they won 6-0. So I'm going to take full credit for that. Take full credit for that victory. I'm not gonna lie. Take full credit for that. And now we're getting to the last match on Sunday and the last match of the weekend. I'm gonna try to make this one short and sweet. I mean, I always try my best. Optic Texas versus G2 Minnesota ended 3-1 Optic. Rocker won first map Scar 250 to 197. Optic then won Raid S&D 6-4. Overload Den 3-0 Optic. Exposure Hardpoint 250 to 113. Minnesota just laid down and died a death there at the end. Nah, Sim for sure deeped it. Wait, what? Deeped it? Oh, yeah. Oh, peeped it? Oh, dude. Bro, okay. I'm not taking credit, and I'm not saying anything, but, I mean, Zuma follows me. Benji follows me. RJ follows me. There's no way one of those three didn't see, or somebody, but just like the algorithm of fucking Twitter, like, to be honest, there's no way nobody saw that and said, you know what? Like, we gotta, like, you know, I'll appreciate not taking the credit for it, but I mean, I know someone peeped. I know someone peeped for sure. Anyways, Optic beat Minnesota, and I gotta say, Optic are very, very lucky boys. That's what I gotta say. Optic are very lucky boys. I know a lot of Optic fans aren't gonna agree with me, but let me cook right now, okay? Let me cook. Okay? So the Scar Hardpoint, I tried to DM some notes to like a certain player, but I was a little bit late on them. But it turns out they already did their homework on that map. So when it comes to playing Optic on Scar Hardpoint, I kind of want to give it away, but I kind of am. But if you just out fucking rotate them, if that's like the main basis of what you do on that map, like you pretty much already beat them on that map, if that makes sense. If you out rotate them, like they're pretty much useless on that map. Like I don't think they like Scar Hardpoint at all, or to Scar anything. I don't think Optic likes it. Maybe Scar S&D, but yeah, out rotate them. And when you get hill setup, so Optic loves pinching things. Obviously, every team always when like you break. It's like a standard rule now in competitive Call of Duty. At least one guy has to pinch when breaking a hill. Like nobody believes in just all four hitting the hill, like unless like the pressure calls for. If you play Optic in Hardpoint, I hate to have to even give this away, but I mean it is what it is. I mean I have a lot more things in the bag. When like you play Optic, you pretty much almost have to use like their own thing against them. When you're holding a hill against them, you need to spread. You cannot play compact, and that's been an issue with like some teams. They play very compact, and what playing compact on a hill setups does, Optic always pinches. So it's like you're already playing compact, everyone's already in the same spot, you fucking die and they collapse. Optic loves collapsing. They love collapsing. They like smushing people in tiny little balls. The second you start playing spread on hill setups, so like for example, P3 on Scar, like the airplane ditch, I think a Rocker had it, and they had the guy on the plane, they had the guy on the hill, the guy in mid was like spread, so like he could not get pinched, and he was able to catch the guy pinching, you know, like just being able to spread takes away their pinches, pretty much takes away everything, because if they can't freaking pinch the hill, they cannot break it. Like I swear. Like Optic, like there's sometimes obviously like with every team, if you just hit a hill from the front with like brute force, like you out trade, obviously every team could do that. But for the most part, if you take away like their pinches, like they look like a completely different team. And I had more notes, but I actually deleted them. But yeah, I don't really need to give away that stuff anyway. But it was about like the Scar Hardpoint, to be honest. I had like a bunch of notes on their Scar Hardpoint. I had like their breakoffs, But yeah, Optic's obviously like a great team. Don't get me wrong. Optic's the best team in this game right now. If I had to choose one team to send to fight the aliens right now, it's Optic Texas. Okay, like don't get me wrong, but they're very beatable, and they're not like so far ahead as everyone thinks they are. I think they're so far ahead because everyone is just so far behind. Like, you know, if that makes sense. It's like teams are so far behind that it makes Optic look way better than they actually are. And I think once everyone catches up, you're going to see like a different Optic, because let me explain to you. So like they lost the map number 1 because they got out homeworked on, out skill diffed and everything. And then the map number 2, Rocker should have won that. And that was the catalyst to Rocker's demise, because that took the wind out their sails. So they lost 6-4. there was a round where Kremp was like basketball court and someone flew down and Kremp like stopped shooting. Like that gunfight is like something I do in like pubs sometimes. It's like when you're shooting at someone and you're kind of overconfident that you get lazy and you kind of like are not so focused on shooting them anymore and you kind of just like lose your aim a bit. That was Kremp in like that gunfight in basketball court. He lost that because he like almost like stopped shooting and like stopped aiming. He lost that, and then they lost that round. And then there was two Merc clutches, two 1v2 clutches. The first one, Skies just gets like a person on bomb. I think it was like Dash or whatever because it's a 2v2. He gets them. He goes like backwater like they planted B, but by the way, they planted B and he's going like top, like whatever you want to call like that place. He gets Dashy. Merc comes right in, hops right on it. And no one checks because everyone was like so scared. Like Merc has like an aura to him, I guess. And I even actually made this tweet too. You know, whenever like you compliment Optic, everyone fucking likes it. Everyone has nothing bad to say about it. So I said, Merc has aura. Both 1v2s he was left in, Rocker was scared to even move. Bro just walked in for easy clutches. That was pretty much Merc in those 1v2s. Both 1v2s or 2v1s, Minnesota should have won. Like, should have. Like, not, like, bar none should have won. The first one, no one checked the bomb. There's 22 seconds left. Skies, if you go up top and you peep the bomb and you die, your teammate's right behind you, and now you know where the guy is. So you could either instantly go rechow and he's not going to expect another person to be there, or you chow and he's not on the bomb, and at least you know he's not on the bomb and you're still alive. You know, one person had to, like, check it right away, like, right after that, and no one checked it. They both just, like, hid back, and then he got, like, ninja diffused on. And then Optic won that round. So it's like you add that round into the other 1v2 they had where now Minnesota planted B. I believe it's B. I hope I'm not getting like the bomb sets confused. Whichever one is like on the water side. They plant the bomb. And then they take two solo fights. Actually, no. Like they didn't take a solo fight. Okay, it was a 3v2. It wasn't a 2v1. It was a 3v1, I think. It was a 3v1. Okay, yeah, never mind. It was a 3v1, I think. I forgot. I should pull it up, but I don't know what round it is. A Merc. Wait, actually, it's probably on here. It's probably on there. Merc 1v2 for Matt Point. Merc 1v2. Hook wins massive gunfight. Merc ninja defuse. Okay, it was a Merc 1v2. Okay, so we're going to pull it up here. Shout out to GG Breaking Point for clipping this. So, Rocker is defending. Wait. Oh, he planted the bomb. I forgot. Oh my. I thought it was a 3v1. Hold on. Okay. I'm actually going to pull up this round. I actually have to get to the bottom of this. I got to get to the bottom of this. Okay. So, Merc planted the bomb. Actually, no, it was Hook. Hook planted the bomb. Okay, so it was a 2v2 and Hook plants and he dies. And then it's Merc. Okay, it's Merc here. And Merc goes to the water steps with the bomb planted B. He sees no one's there. Merc wraps all the way around the back spawn. And freaking Minnesota's not hopping it. They're not, they just kind of gave up the back. There definitely should have been a person up in the back the whole time, but they also had to check basketball court. But Merc clutches that one as well. Not as glaring as like the first one. Honestly, if they literally won the first one, they literally should have won. And like the Kremp gunfight as well. But just like clutches Merc was getting that he should not have been getting, and they lose that map. And let me tell you, so like I made this point before about like the Ravens. Not gonna lie, Merc got insane timing for that ninja defuse. He stretched the bomb too. 4-3 round. Now it was 3v2 Optic, and then it was a 1v2. Okay, yeah, good to know. Yeah, but I could give him like the second one because that was like a good route. He like checked from water steps and then he wrapped all the way around back spawn. Like that's a good route. But that other one, when like all Minnesota had to do was check the bomb and they just didn't check it, just like not cash money at all. So Rocker should have been up 2-0, but let me tell you something about bad teams. Is like when bad teams feel like they should have won a map and then they don't, it just takes the wind out the sails. And then it's exactly like Kremp said. I'll even go on Kremp's tweet. This is exactly what I thought happened. And it did. It's like everything I say is being echoed and spoken into existence. Kremp says GG's Optic lost 3-1, trolled the S&D, and then let them do whatever they wanted after that. Pretty much, you know, like they just got deflated. Like, man, we should have won that map. Now it's 1-1, and we're going into Optic's like best overload map, and they lost 3-0. Rocker had no idea what to do on that overload. They're playing haram ball, honestly, like just, and yeah, just not good, not good. And like Skies needs to like take into account how like his speed actually affects the team. So if you take a look at the map number 1 where they won 250-197, he's got like 30 kills. He's fucked 30 and 21.5. The 4th map, only 10 kills. Only 10 kills in the whole game. That was like 2.5 rotations, 2 kills. Not good. Not good. Not sustainable. Not getting enough kills. Not getting enough kills. Not. I know you're playing against Optic as well. I mean, Optic's like freaking dominating. Dash had a 2.23 in this map. But yeah, pretty much Rocker got deflated after map number 2, and then had Optic's best overload map. Rocker doesn't know how to play that map. I mean, there's a lot of teams that don't want to play that map. I think for the first minute and a half, Rocker was good at that map, and then like they fell off a cliff after that. And then the exposure, Optic won because all the win was already out of Rocker's sails, so they just skill diffed them, and that's pretty much the match. From Rocker's POV, it's good that you're competitive against these teams. It's always like a good sign. I'm just thinking Rocker is going to like digress at some point, and they're going to go like sink into that bottom half and not really show out. But I think Mamba's like a big piece of like why they're playing like really good and still hanging in there and showing signs of life. So I think that's great out of Mamba, but the team needs to figure it out. And Mamba seems very sure about himself. Can't wait to see those cowboy boots on the main stage, to be honest, as well. They can be fire. But yeah, another routine win from Optic. They did get lucky. Like I am gonna say that, and some I also want to say as well, because I was also beefy on Twitter about this too. So I'll actually pull that up too. So Ronnie Intel tweets, "Is Shotzi drunk?" And then I say, "Take away his pinches and he's useless." And look at everyone get offended. Okay, bro. 3-time world champ. Lol. No way. This is your take. ... Useless 3-time world. Okay. First of all, I don't care if someone is a 3-time world champ. Okay. And that picture absolutely scares me, by the way. That picture scares me. I don't care. This is why Kenny laughed at you all year. I didn't even see that comment because I don't even pay attention to my notifications. I don't care if Shots is a 3-time world champ. It doesn't mean he does not play bad or have things that he's bad at. That Raid S&D was a perfect example. Shotzi went like, what the heck did Shotzi go at map? He went 3-9, but he was like 1-8 at one point. Every round he was trying to go for a late pinch, and Minnesota kept reading it. And I'm just like, that's all he does in S&D, and everybody knows. First time chatter, GreenWall going down. That has to be an Optic. That has to be an Optic personnel on a ringer for sure. That has to be somebody from Optic on a ringer. I'm on to you guys. I'm on to you guys. I swear to God, I'm on to you guys. No, I'm gonna let you guys have like these qualifier matches. Like the real big thing is the majors. Like that's the real big thing we're gonna get to. Is it just me, or does Hook look just a tad uncomfortable these first 2 matches? His per 10 minute stats and hill time and respawns being low isn't that uncommon, but it seems pretty slow so far. I would not look too much into it just because of the level of competition that they had. I mean, granted, Rocker did put up somewhat of a fight, but they were playing Falcons and they're playing Rocker, just like not really good teams. And like sometimes when you're playing like bad teams, like you don't really have to like do that much, and you just kind of like get through the series as opposed to like performing. You just kind of get through because everyone else is frying. It is what it is. I think that's honestly what it is. I don't think he's in a slump. I don't even think he played bad. I just think he was like dying when he died, whatever. But I just think it was like a matter of they're just playing a team that they're way better than, and other people were just fucking doing things, and he didn't really have to do that much. I think that's honestly all it came down to. But yeah, if you take away Shotzi's pinches, okay, he tried pinching and flanking every single round. He just runs mid every round on S&D on fucking raid. That's all he does. He just runs mid, offense, defense, goes for like a late fucking kitchen flank, doesn't work. Goes for a late mid zig flank, doesn't work. Didn't work over and over and over and over and over again. And I pretty much pointed that out, and people's brain dead replies, Arani Intel, oh, he's a 3-time world champ. I know his credentials, brother. I know his credentials, okay? We fucking know his credentials. That doesn't take away from the fact that if you take away his pinches, he's useless, okay? I don't care if he's a 3-time world champion. If you take away his pinches right now, he's pretty one-dimensional, honestly. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, that's the Rocker Series. They definitely could have won, but that map number 2 just took the win out their sails. But it's another business as usual from Optic. But I'd be kind of worried because, like, I mean, it's good that you won under some adversity. But, I mean, like, they just trolled so many rounds. And, I mean, it was just like a momentum switch. But way too close for comfort, even though it was like a 3-1. I would have like the magnifying glass out a little bit for that series. I'm not gonna lie. I would not let that one slide under the rug too much. For some reason, I'm literally starting to get like sinuses now. What the hell? Just from yapping too much. Not gonna lie, Optic is this good because the AR duo they have is god tier. Yep. Honestly, whenever the SMGs aren't doing anything, dude, like Dashi and Merc are just like right there to pick it up. I'm getting flashbanged by this. Holy cow. This Call of Duty screen is flash banging me right now. So I lost for Hook and Chauncey just to constantly pinch. Yeah, pretty much. But other teams don't have the dynamic because their airs are one-dimensional. So, and a mobile. And a mobile. A shout out to Kenny. But yeah, actually, yeah, but he's playing great though. Why are you guys fucking hopping like the Twitch at the end of the podcast? That's crazy. Where are you guys the whole episode? Crazy. But pretty sure you guys are tuning in. If you guys have any Amazon Primes, I'll take that. And also, I will be going to Major 1 in Dallas, most likely. All depends on December. Like, we'll see what December brings, but I will most likely be going to that Major 1. And I'm going to see all you GreenWall fans there. I'm going to see y'all there. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to see y'all there. But yeah. If you want to see me at the Major, and, you know, fucking just throw me an Amazon Prime, you know? Are you going to square up with Sib and Ken? No, like, I'm too big for that. I'm too big for that. Nah, I can't wait. I can't wait, bro. If I run into Ken and Dante, that's going to be hilarious. I mean, like, I'm not going to be like, hey, what the, you know, like, there's not really anything to say. It's like more if they call me out on something, I'll just be like, yeah, well, I mean, like, your ass. So, I mean, like, I'm not going to go back on my words or anything. I'm like, yeah, Kenny, like, you actually were a mobile, you know, like, I mean, not really much to say. And also, to everyone on Twitter who tweets bad things in my reply, as you could tell from my notifications, I don't open them. But also, and nobody's gonna convince me I do not know ball. I put a lot of I've done my time. Like, let's just say that I've done my time. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm very sure of myself and my knowledge, and everyone that says anything negative, I wish you guys knew how much I don't care. I just like if only you knew, because I swear people are trying to tell me stuff to try to convince me I don't know, like, you know, but like I don't care. Okay, but anyways, but that's my point. Gonna do predictions for next week. I mean, this Friday's a banger. I mean, I should ask like to get on the flank for this, because I don't think anyone's gonna want to actually cover this. So, I should ask to get on that. So we're gonna have Riyadh Falcons against Carolina, G2 Minnesota against Boston Breach, and Vancouver against Toronto Koi. So we're going to get a Canadian classic, but it's not going to be a Canadian classic like the old one that's actually good. This one's going to be probably more of a one-sided Canadian classic, probably favoring the East of Canada a bit more, to be honest. But my predictions for these Friday matches, since we're already on them, I am going to go Carolina, Boston, and Koi. So pretty much everyone on the right side. Carolina, Boston, and Koi. Those are my picks. I'm not getting flashbang no more. I'm putting that away. But I'm going to put an end to the podcast, and then, you yap to the stream a bit longer. But thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Borito Talk podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all the good stuff. Hit a drop shot on that follow button. I got to stop saying that. It's so corny. It's literally so corny. But I got some guests coming on in the future. We're going to keep these recaps of the weekend going. I may space them out just so they're not all to 2 hours and 20 minutes, to be honest. But yeah, I am your number one CDL ESPN analyst / content creator in the world. This has been Burrito. Thanks for tuning in. Bada boom, bada bye. We'll see you next time. And that's the record button on that. You're going to get jumped by Optic fans if you go. I dare these niggas to try to jump me, bro. What the fuck? You're going to jump me because I don't like your team? Yeah, I get a grip. Rocker is going to be Carolina last year. Not going to lie. Wait, where am I? In-person witchcraft. You got to hang that one up. In-person witchcraft. I'm down, bro. Nah, Optic fans are going to hate me. When Optic's losing, I'm going to be standing up like, yeah, let's fucking go, Simp. Let's fucking go. Yeah, Kenny, fuck him up. Bro, I'm actually going to come up with my own chance. If I actually do go, like, I'm actually not even kidding. Like, because, like, I've never been to, like, a gaming event before. I've been to, like, LANs before, but, like, I haven't, like, been a fan, like, watching. I swear to God, if I actually go to Dallas, okay, I will literally be making chants by myself in the audience of Optic. Like, if, like, they're fucking losing maps, like, oh, down goes the green wall. Oh, down goes the green wall. And everyone's going to be, like, looking at me like, what the fuck, dude? It's going to be, like, one guy in the audience, but I'm going to be super loud. It's literally going to... shouting strats. Dante, he's going B. Go B. He's pitching. Oh, my God. Or it could be, like, Dross's girlfriend. He's defusing. Yo, that'd be insane. I know, but I'm actually gonna be like a nuisance. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be showing up to that event like with like my Optic strats, bro. Be showing up in my CDL analyst suit and tie with like a briefcase with strats, hand them off to every team like before they play Optic. You know? But yeah, I just fucking thought about that chant right now. Oh, down goes the green wall. Dude, that has a nice ring to it. Does it not? But ain't nobody going to chant that because everyone's an Optic fan. But I'm going to chant it. Oh, down goes the green wall. Oh, down goes the green wall. Wow, that's hard, bro. That's hard. We should come up with chants like right now, dude. Just hater chants right now. We should just come up with. That'd be a fucking vibe, dude. Absolute fucking vibe. But yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, guys, but I need to render this episode. I'm not gonna lie. If you can make Gentlemates fuck turn on Optic. Oh, dude. The Gentlemates are my team, bro. If I had to pick, I will be feeding strats. I'm telling you, I'll be feeding strats. If they ever match up against Optic, any team that matches up against Optic at the majors, I mean, I'm not going to tell everyone exactly what I'm going to do, but let's just say I'm going to try to have an influence. Like, let's just say that. And And I don't really care about Major 2, Major 3, Major 4, but I am still going to like do stuff on those. All I care about is their home major, champs, and EWC. That's what I care about. If they don't win like those 3, I'll be a happy man. I'll be a happy man. And it has nothing to do with the players. I already like said this before. This Optic team is probably like my favorite Optic team of all time. Maybe. Or like second maybe, because I did like the Dynasty. But yeah. I'm going to run a 30-minute ad break on Twitch. Fuck it, let's run it, baby. Let's fucking run it, baby. A 30-second, not fuck 30-minute, my bad. A 30-second ad break. I've never fucking run ad break in my life on Twitch, but I'm doing it. Pat at fuck full potential. Nah, bro. Like, you'd actually be proud of me. I swear to God, he'd actually be proud of me. I swear to God, he would be. But yeah. Also, I just want to like yap real quick. I just want to yap real quick before I go, because I'm gonna have to go like right now, and I have to throw this video in fucking Vegas Pro and fucking render it like right now. Like, I have to render this. What was I gonna say? I need someone to answer this question. I'm not trying to like start anything. I hope no one takes offense to this. Don't take offense to this. But I just need to know if someone shares like the same sentiment as me. Is it just me, or has like the flank been kind of like lackluster lately? Am I faded? Is it just me, or has it been like a little bit uninspiring? Am I faded? I need like a yes or a no. Just hit me like a yes or no or something. I don't know. Hit me with something. Is it just me, or is that the flank been like a little bit uninspiring? If that makes sense. And by the way, this is not me like preaching. This is not me trying to find a way on the flank, by the way. I was like thinking about like if that ever happened. I was just thinking that can't even be a good idea. I can't even be a good idea. Like I say way too many, like, I'm not gonna say bad things, but I don't know. I just feel like well, it shows like, thank you. That's like the best way I could describe it. Okay, like that's like a good way to describe it. Okay, that's actually like a good way to describe it. So it feels like exactly like Grudge just said. Like, sometimes it just feels like they're talking in circles, especially when like the matches like aren't interesting, or it's like the matches are just matches. Like, sometimes it just feels like it's, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with a super chill show, by the way. I'm not sure if I'm just crazy, but there's nothing wrong with the super chill show. But I just feel like the show like needs like some more hot takes. Like, I don't think anyone says anything crazy, or like people don't want to like. I'm not saying like call out players or scold players, because I mean, obviously you're not trying to have enemies, but it's like no one really has hot takes. It's kind of just like, oh yeah, like I thought this person played good. Oh yeah, good. And then on to the next person. Yeah, like I thought they played good. Yeah. Oh yeah, like I feel the same way. And then it's like over. Yeah. Like I like the analysis part of it, but yeah, I know everyone's take pre-show. Wait, what? Oh, like you already know what everyone's gonna say. Okay, yeah. Okay. I guess it's also another thing. And that's why I kind of like Enable. Like, I actually like really like Enable, because I feel like Enable always has like a different opinion all the time. I feel like Enable always like says something new. Obviously, there's just like things that are just like the way they are, and like everyone just has to like, there's just like some things that are just like fucking unanimous, like fucking Vancouver's ass. Not really much you could say about that. You can't really but I don't know. I just wish there's more like hot takes on this show that like created like talking points, and people start going back and forth. Like, whenever they're talking about like fucking like Vancouver, like I was hoping like Aches, I'm not sure if Aches was even on the show that day, but that's also another reason why I like Pat, because at least he like starts something. Like, you know, even though he does not watch and offers zero analysis, like he at least like says some hood rat shit, and then like a person will be like, oh, like I think this, and at least like, you know, it like, oh shit, like now like, oh, you know, it actually like makes like, now I'm actually like, oh fuck, now I actually gotta listen, like they're like talking about some crazy shit, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I really feel like they need like some more hot takes on the show. I don't know, like they need some more hot takes. But that's just my opinion. The only hot take is fuck Pat on Optic, which isn't hot anymore. Okay, I will give you an example. Okay, I'll actually give you an example. Okay, I'll give you an example. I might get off this site because it's like fucking flashbanging my shit. So let's go on the matches. So what were the matches yesterday? So it was Optic, Minnesota, Paris, Okay. So it was like a nice like chill episode yesterday. But like I'll just like give an example, okay? Like I will give an example. Which fucking game should I pick? Okay. I'm gonna do like two examples. So let's say Paris against Vancouver. And like Paris fuck beat him 3-0, and I think like Zuma echoed what I said, like he just needs to like speed up more, all that stuff. But like, even if like a person said something like, man, I'm just not sure if like this guy's ever gonna get a grasp of the game, like how long is it gonna take for this guy to like, if someone just said something like that to like spark a conversation about, and just like all of a sudden like get people going, like, you know, like I don't know, I just think about shit like that. But can I think of an example like Cloud9 from Minnesota? I mean, it was like a burger bowl, to be honest, but yeah, I don't know. I feel there's no hot takes on the show. I mean, like yeah, whatever. I mean, there's a lot I could say about like the fucking Paris game, but anyways, but that's just like that's small thing. I was just curious. I still watch it all the time though, because you know it's like the only after show going on. You know, I always gotta fucking tune into that, baby. But yeah, but that's all I got, man. That's all I got for today, guys. That's all I got. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for vibing with me. I really appreciate it. I'm fucking tired. This fucking light's fucking shining in my eyes, bro. I finally decided to put like a nice fucking light on and take a look at it shining in my eyes. Take a look at it shining in my... I don't even have it like all the way up. Like, look. Take a look at it when it's like all the way up. Okay, so right now it's off, right? That's it when it's all the way on. Look at that shit. It's so bright. But I could like put it down a little bit. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to my episode of Burrito Talk. I have some due diligence to do tomorrow, so I will not be streaming. I'm doing some YouTube videos and doing some coaching. I'm gonna be in some scrims tomorrow for like some challengers, some amateur challengers teams. I'm gonna be some scrims for those. So I'll be doing that off stream unless like they like give me permission. I don't know. I don't think they'll care, but we'll see. Yeah, but I'm going to be doing that, and then I'll be live on Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm going to do the optics spreadsheet. I'm going to do the optics spreadsheet on Wednesday. And that's fucking Man City against Real Madrid, and they got to be going to a work meeting on that day. Can you imagine? Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I'm so tired. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. Yeah, honestly, I mean, guys, I just want to go on a rant right now. I don't know why. I just want to go on a rant right now. Okay, last thing I'm going to say before I go. Okay, last thing I'm going to say. I got 40 seconds before Twitch prepares a 30 fucking second ad. My bad. I'm going to try the other stream before that. Anyone who does not understand me yet, and anyone who does not like me yet because of me giving my opinion, fucking, can you imagine? You will learn to love me. You just have to embrace it. I am inevitable. It will happen. I will get big, and there's nothing you could do about it. You just gotta ride the wave. You guys could try to hold me back. You're not gonna hold me back. Like I am dedicated to this craft, and I am not stopping until I fucking get what I want. So you guys can say negative stuff if you have to, but you know, I am just like locked in. Like no words could ever get to me. Like ever get to me. Especially since I live in like the real world, and you know, like online gamer Twitter opinions like that. I don't care, you know. You know, I just don't care. I'm inevitable, and I'm not even trying to say in like an ego way. I'm just like saying that like, you know, there's like a lot of people whenever like people start saying bad things about them, like they just crumble. I can't do this anymore. Da 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 da. I'm just want to let you guys know. Sticks and stones, my most words never hurt me. I'm just fucking locked in. That's it. I'm fucking locked in. And guys, the Call of Duty community is very fucking tight knit. You know, it's a very tight knit. Everybody's friends with everybody. And like a lot of times when things happen on like Twitter and everybody pretty much gives like the exact same takes and stuff all the time. There needs to be something different. And it's all a matter of if you guys want something different. If the people want something different. If everyone's fine with just optic and phase and, you know, like just like that type of shit, I mean, it's great. But it's like there needs to be variety, okay? There needs to be variety. I don't think there's enough variety because everyone's friends with everyone. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to be friends with everyone. Like, that's fucking dumb. Not saying that at all. But it's like, it feels like there's a circle and there's not really anyone that like makes hot takes and like says things, doesn't want to burn bridges, you know? Like, there's no like, I'm not trying to be like Stephen A. Smith because I've never watched a Stephen A. Smith show in my life. So everyone keeps making like that comparison. Never watched a show of his in my life. Never watched a Skip Bayless show in my life. Those are the comparisons I've likes to throw. But I know who they are though. The world needs the scene needs a person like that, like a Skip Bayless. I don't know anything about him, but I know he gives hot takes. Like, he doesn't show favoritism. Anyone could get the criticism. Anyone could get the hot takes. I'm not saying I'm only going to say bad things, but, like, you know, and I get that sometimes the way I talk sounds a little bit condescending. That's even in my real life too. Like, that's a thing I'm very aware of. I'm very aware. You just have to understand me to know it doesn't come from a bad place. But yeah. And yeah. Some of you guys want something different. You guys want something different. A person who's like actually going to voice opinions fearlessly and not like keep things to themselves because, you know, like they're friends with everyone, you know, that type of stuff. I'm your guy. You know, I'm your guy. There needs to be something different. And I strive to be that person. And no matter what happens, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm already committed. I already gave like the whole last year of my life to this. And, you know, after like you do that, you kind of just have to commit. So I'm committing and I'm inevitable. And we will clip this in the future. So I think this is like this December 8th. We'll let it come back on the stream sometime. We'll clip this at some point. But my time's coming. And yeah, that's all I got to say. My time's coming. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, right? But yeah, have a good night, guys. Have a good Monday. Hope you guys had a nice time at work, school. Back at it again tomorrow, just like me. But it's Champions League. Let's fucking go through Champions League real quick. I'm sorry. I just find ways to fucking stay on. So what games fucking Inter Liverpool tomorrow? Oh, I'm locked in. Okay, I'm so locked. Oh my god. Inter Liverpool tomorrow? I am there. Oh my god, I'm there. And you want to know what's funny? They put a work meeting at the exact same time as this Real Madrid Man City game. I'm so mad. I'm so pissed. So pissed. But I'm going to be there tomorrow for Inter Liverpool. Oh my god. If any of you guys watch soccer, if anyone watch soccer, join the Discord. I need a person to talk fucking football with about. So, yeah, Burrito, can you get me the game? Wait, what? Can I get you the game? Can I? Can I get you the game? Are you talking about Black Ops 7? Is that the game you're talking about? Is that the game? How the fuck do you even? I didn't even get people the game. I'm confused. Anyway, ask me again in like the next stream. Ask me again in the next stream, and we'll have a conversation. How about that? But yeah, guys, have a good rest of your night. This is the #1 CDL ESPN analyst / content creator in the world, signing off for the night. Peace.